What is up, team? Tim here. 2 sales calls to break down. There's a lot. They're very, very dense. The first call is a discovery with my client Gianluca, who has been training with me for a couple months now, and he's getting so much better at sales. He's made over 5 figures in the last 2 months. He's very, very talented, very sharp, and there's a lot we can learn from his call. There's some things he does really right and some things he does really, really wrong. So I break down both of those things. If you're someone who's learning sales, already in sales, or you sell anything online, even if you're a creator, a content creator, or a coach, you can learn from this. And the second call is my own call, where I run another discovery selling a fitness offer. And this one, I do everything right. There's a lot that I do that you can learn from, a lot of processes that I do, a lot of systems in terms of my communication frameworks that you can learn from and take into your own calls. It's very dense, it's very heavy. So this may be one that you're going to pause and come back to, take some notes on to implement it all. Okay. Let's go ahead and get better. I'll see you on the other side inside the training. Let's get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started and break down Gianluca's call. See what he does.
Hello, Nick.
Yo, what's up?
Playing this on 1.25 speed as usual to save time.
See me out there?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Awesome. How are you today, man? How do you find yourself?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
All good. Excited to jump in. Just before we go ahead and jump in, just want to make sure we're good on timing. You're good to lock in with me for about 45 minutes, hour max, depending on how long the combo goes. Is that good on your end? Just to make sure.
Yeah. Should be good. I mean, I got until like 10, 15, 10:30ish. Okay. So I think we should be cool.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, I know you spoke with XYZ setter not too long ago.
Yeah. This
call is going to be very similar, but of course a lot more in depth, a lot more detailed. My biggest priorities are to, first of all, make sure you are a good fit to work with XYZ. That's the most important part. I want to have true confidence that we can help you out. I'm going to take a look at where you're at right now at the moment, specifically what goals you are, what desires you have at mind and heart, just to make sure I feel like we can help. If we knock that out the way, I feel confident that we can get to XYZ goal.
And something that you'll notice from this call, one of the reasons I wanted to use it is that Gianluca is a good sales rep. He's made, I think I've said this earlier, he's made over 5 figures in the last 2 months. He's done really well for himself, going from like a complete beginner who knew nothing about sales, nothing, just worked retail, trained with us for a few months, and now he's doing well, and now he's a one-on-one client of mine. So he does a lot of stuff right here. He also misses a couple things, misses a lot of things, I think, and goes past that he doesn't need to or shouldn't go. So it was great to break this down. It's very well rounded, but I want you to watch the things he does do well. You see how he opens the call. It's very clean. He controls the opening of the call. He's the wording is a little bit is a little interesting, but he controls the call really well, and he has very firm framing on this is how the call is going to go and how we're going to run things today, which is really important when you're selling. Let's continue.
Then I'll share everything on my side, walk you through what it is that we do, how we do it specifically, and then if the confidence is on your side, which is the most important part, we could talk numbers, we could talk investment, and kick you off from there. Well, good. Any questions before we kick on in, or?
No, man, just excited to have a conversation.
Awesome. Yeah. Likewise, then let's go. So pretty much, the most important part I kind of want to get off the way straight away is like, what's like the reason for coming in here today? Like, what's the objective you have with ecomm? Like, where do you want to see yourself specifically? Let's say like, maybe 6 months, 12 months down the line.
So when we run discovery, we teach it in 3 phases. We teach the problem state, the urgency state, and the gap. Okay, these are 3 phases, 3 sections of a discovery, the way that we teach it inside of protocols. And what Gianluca is doing here is he's opening up to figure out what the problem is. And the reason we need a problem at the top, we follow a formula called PUG, PUG, the PUG framework, PUG selling system, problems, urgency, gap. And the reason why he's starting off asking this very broad question, what brought you to the call today? What do you need? Is because that's going to open a window into the prospect's problem. They're going to answer it one of a few ways. They're either going to tell you their background and their story and what's frustrating them in that story, which we don't need their whole background always. We don't usually want it, actually. To be honest, I don't want people telling me about their life story, but he'll give you some info on that, and that could reveal a problem, or he'll tell you what he wants. So I'm looking to achieve this, or he'll give you some kind of other present frustration or some reason he saw the call. He'll say, yeah, I saw an ad and I wanted to find out more about what you guys did. But the reason we ask is what we're trying to do is we're trying to identify very quickly and very clearly why we're on the call and what problem we're trying to solve. And the problems, the pain the prospect is in, the frustration gets revealed. We understand it. We can find that frustration when they give us some level of desire. They can either tell us the frustration directly, I'm not making enough money, or they can say, I want to make more money. And if someone tells me on a call, I want to make $15,000, let's say $20,000, that means you are not making that money right now. And you not making it is a problem. Now, what is the problem attached to that? Meaning, what are we trying to solve actually? That's where what we call the mechanism comes in. The mechanism meaning what our company does. And by the way, you guys are seeing a small clip of this, meaning I'm going to show you the full role plays, the full calls, this one and mine. This is a part of a much bigger boot camp we ran. We ran a 3-day training boot camp on Discovery. We run these boot camp style weekends in protocols training, and our guys got very, very good from that. So you're seeing a small clip of that, but I'll fill in some of those gaps for you here in the YouTube video.
6 months, 12 months down the line. Let's say maybe 6 months, 12 months down the line.
I don't know, man. Just I saw the ad and thought it might be a good opportunity, right? Just maybe some good extra side income. Kind of what I'm currently doing, just trying to see what's out there,
So this is well played by Nick, and this is something you're going to commonly see on calls. He says, I just want to see what's out there, see what my options are, see what opportunities could be, quote unquote, presented to me, right? Which is really problematic because the way that he's communicating now is not from a level of need or a level of desire. He's doing it from he's communicating from a level of, oh, I kind of just want this outcome and I could take it or leave it. You can hear it in his language. He says, kind of just saw an ad, so I'm just here, which is him avoiding the responsibility of the desire to achieve the outcome. And when you're selling, when you're trying to create a sales pathway, you cannot sell to someone who's in a state of avoidance about the outcome they would like to have or the outcome they desire. You cannot do it, or you can do it, but statistically, you're going to be at a disadvantage, and you will only close people who are the easiest closes. You'll close 10% of people, 5%. That's how I used to sell before I got very good at sales. So what we need here is we need to find a way to increase the urgency, like level the urgency up way more, and not have it where it is right now. Because, and again, urgency doesn't mean, oh my God, I'm panicking, I'm in a bad position, but we can't have him, yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys do and maybe make a little more money. Because that's like, I could take it or leave it. So when you say this investment's going to be $5,000, which is what high ticket sales is, you're selling a high price item. When that happens, what are you left with? They're going to say, oh, let me think about it, because they don't need to do this, right?
Straight away is like, what's like the reason for coming in here today? Like, what's the objective you have with ecomm? Like, where do you want to see yourself specifically? Let's say maybe 6 months, 12 months down the line.
I don't know, man. Just I saw the ad and thought it might be a good opportunity, right? Just maybe some good extra side income. Kind of what I'm currently doing. Just trying to
maybe good side income, maybe a good opportunity. No strong desire of I would like to achieve this.
see what's out there,
Okay, sweet. Side income specifically on top of what? Like, what are you doing right now at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I have a full-time job. Yeah.
Okay. What do you do?
So it's interesting, right? Gianluca has asked him what he does right now. What's the current state? Cool. But right now it looks like Gianluca's, and I already watched this, so I know what's going to happen. Gianluca's accepting that low level of desire that, yeah, I just saw what you guys did and it would be nice to make some extra income. He's accepting that as okay. And you'll see how this makes the rest of his call more difficult. And he does get through the call, and we end up giving grades because this was in the middle of our boot camp. So I gave a grade on the call, and I ended up giving him, I'll tell you the grade afterwards. I'll give you guys the grade. It was from S tier, then A, B, C, D, and F. So I'll see what you guys think, what it is. You can take a guess if you want after this and say, what do you think the call is? But you can see here how he's not actually going to handle this frame well. He doesn't do anything with it, and he kind of lets it go.
Yeah, I mean, I have a full-time job. Yeah.
Okay. What do you do?
I do like financial planning.
Okay, sweet. For you, like, because there's two types of people. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. A lot of people come into this with like that side income like mentality. Other people want to make this like,
I forgot he did this. He is attempting to handle that. Actually, he does. Let's see what happens.
with like that side income like mentality. Other people want to make this like their full-time thing eventually.
Yeah. For
you, ideally, where do you want to see yourself? Like, if things were to work out according to your plan.
I mean, yeah, I mean, depending on how much money I can make, right? If I'm making 10, 15, 20,000.
It really comes down to what you want, right? Like, whatever input you put, like, that's the output you will be getting, which is why I want to, get some clear standards just before we even continue the conversation on. So where would you want to be ideally?
Okay, I don't actually remember this. For some reason, this is slipping my mind. I didn't remember he did this. This is good. He's actually giving him a crossroads and saying, who do you want to be? Are you the kind of person who wants to attain XYZ outcome, 5-figure months, or are we the kind of person who's side income hustle? And the first time he did it, Nick got out of it, and Nick said it would be nice, whatever's possible. He kind of refreshed the same answer. Let's see where Gianluca goes here, where Nick goes, because I don't know how Nick is going to concede this. From what I remember, it didn't end up becoming very strong. Maybe I was wrong. Let's see.
Get some clear standards just before we even continue the conversation. So where would you want to be ideally?
From a revenue standpoint?
Yeah, from what you will be taking home. If you want to make 15, 20K, then we can set that up. If you want more side income, like it really all comes down to you.
I mean, probably no less than $10,000, right? The cost of living, it's pretty high. So probably no less than 10 grand. Yeah.
Okay. So when you say cost of living, like you would want this to eventually be the thing that, takes care of your cost of living and all those expenses at some point?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So at the moment from the
that's what it was.
Financial job that you have.
Okay. So this is an interesting moment here. So I see what happened in retrospect, because when I wrote this down, because I was taking notes and I gave him a grade on this, when I wrote this down, I felt like he didn't actually handle and create trigger the not urgency, the level of desire high enough, which I still believe. But now I see it's a little different, and you can learn from this. So what he does is he does get him to say 10K. He says that, like, I want 10K coverage cost of living, but look at the way that Nick says it. Look at his body language, look at his head movement, look at his expression, his tone. And Nick plays such a great prospect here.
We even continue the conversation on. So where would you want to be ideally?
From a revenue standpoint?
Yeah, from what you will be taking home. If you want to make 15, 20K, then we can set that up. If you want more side income, like it really all comes down to you.
I mean, probably no less than $10,000, right? The cost.
Okay, so he said probably no less than $10,000. And then he gives cost of living. That's a better answer than before, 100%, because he's saying, yeah, cost of living is high. I'd actually need to make some decent money to be able to live the life I want. That's what he's implying. Good, it's better.
I mean, probably no less than $10,000, right? The cost of living, it's pretty high. So
that was like the first good answer we got in terms of desire, but it's still not something that he came up with on his own, that he started the call with. He started the call with, it would be nice to make side income. So now Gianluca said, do you want to make side income or do you want to do 10K? And he's like forced this crossroads, and Nick is saying, well, fine, life is expensive, so why not 10K? That's how he's saying it. So what Gianluca does correctly here, he does another good job, is he doubles down.
Right, no less than 10 grand, yeah.
Okay, so when you say cost of living, like you would want this to eventually be.
So he says you would want this, which is good, and the emphasis is on the word want. You would want it, you desire it.
So when you say cost of living, like you would want this to eventually be the thing that takes care of your cost of living and all those expenses at some point.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so Nick's answer, the way he answers, he's like, yeah. It's not still an answer that's in line with desire. It's an answer that's like, you know what? That's possible. Why not? That's what I feel from him. I don't feel like that's a strong, you know what? I want that. I don't think he's avoiding it either, where he's being bad faith or being difficult. I don't hear any of that. But I would, if I'm selling right now, I'd want it to get stronger. And you guys will see, I'm going to demo. I have my own call coming up towards the second half of this, and I run this as well. And you'll see how I build that out with Husham. We role played it and demoed it for everyone. But look at this. So right now the answer is still very, very complacent. So what I would do here is I wouldn't take it at face value. My response would be, I would ask you and say, why is it? Because I know a second ago you'd mentioned like side income. What's changed in your own mind and your own opinion for you to say, I don't want just side income, but I actually want to thrive and I want to actually make 5-figure months? What changed in your own mind, in your own like opinion? Right? What I would do is I would force that question, because now that's going to force him to build up a better answer that's real. He'll tell me and explain to me why he actually is the person who wants full income, not just side income. Whereas Gianluca got halfway there to the point where he said, you know what? Yeah, I'd want full income. But it wasn't a strong desire that caused him to intellectually and energetically wrestle with that idea. So it's a problem. Okay, so the call now is like halfway good. Okay, let's keep watching, and we'll play this one out.
And all those expenses at some point.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, sweet. At the moment, from the financial job that you have, what are you taking home right now at the moment, just so we can create that roadmap?
It's a little upfront, man, but I mean, it's not bad. $5,000, maybe $6,000 a month or so.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you been working there?
Big problem that he says it's not bad. Good job from Gianluca to just not react to him saying it's up front. He just sits with it, and Nick answers.
$5,000, maybe $6,000 a month or so.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you been working there?
2 years. Yeah.
2 years.
Couple years, yeah.
Okay. And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I know we're getting pretty personal.
How old am I?
Yeah.
How old are you, man?
I actually don't like that Gianluca laughed there, because Gianluca got away with the asking about his finances earlier, and the prospect that Nick is playing didn't like that really. He had a kind of a negative response to that, but Gianluca sat with it, took ownership of it, didn't react, and he got away with it. And now the second one he's going for is how old are you, which he's probably doing to guess and say hopefully he's a 30 something, and you're saying you're only making this kind of money at 30 something. Is that where you want to be? Obviously no. That's assuming what he's going to do here. But I don't like that Gianluca's laughing on this one. Or smiling when he asks it. There's no need to. And that smile gives Nick the window he needs to push back at him and push him and test
2 years.
Couple years, yeah.
Okay. And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I know we're getting pretty personal.
How old am I?
You see, Nick only laughs when Gianluca laughs. Watch it. Nick doesn't really laugh at all. And then Gianluca smiles because he's uncomfortable with doubling down on the prying personal question, because Nick had called him out earlier, and now that he smiled in the second one, which I could see his side of doing it. Gianluca may have been assuming Nick wouldn't have liked that question, and thus was like, let me just make it friendly and cheeky. I would rather him have stuck to his guns and been more serious, and then let Nick push back at him, and then turn it into a joke if Nick decides to do that, right? But Gianluca kind of jumped the gun for no reason. This is just some cool mechanics of communication, influence dynamics type of things that you can learn in terms of people and how people work.
Yeah.
2 years.
Couple years, yeah.
Okay. And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I know we're getting pretty personal.
How old am I?
Yeah.
How old are you, man? How
No,
old are
right
you?
now, I'm trying to figure out your situation, right? Like I said, I know it's getting pretty personal, but
Yeah.
the goals that we are trying to achieve and the change that we are trying to make is pretty personal. So I want to make sure we really know who we are, working with, and how we
Yeah.
can potentially help as best as possible.
Yeah. I'm 31, but how old are you though?
I'm 20. That
20?
matters to you. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. 31. You've been working there since 29. If my math is correct, right?
Yeah, 29-ish, 30-ish, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. For you, how long has it been, let's say, a goal to find a vehicle to replace that?
So we're not going to go back and look at it. You can rewind if you want, but remember what Nick had said. When he said, how much are you making? He said, not bad, 5-6K a month, right? So Nick has established the money I make right now is not bad. So what are we doing? We're trying to go from not bad to really good. He said, I want to make at least 5 figures, but he's already making 5-6. So he wants to double what he makes. Sure, it sounds good. It sounds cool, but he already established what I make right now is not bad. So we're taking him from a not bad to a good in his own mind. See how it's problematic? Because we haven't gotten a high level of desire. I want freedom. I want to be here 5-figure months. We haven't established that. Now what's happening is the overall state or the position Nick is coming from is not bad as a prospect. And it's going to be very hard to sell against that. It's going to be very difficult. So what we needed when he said it wasn't bad, what Gianluca was hoping was that he would probably work there for a very long time, like 10 years, and then 31, cool, whatever. That's not a old age, but working in the same place for 10 years and not making more. And Gianluca would have had an angle there, but Nick didn't give him that. Nick was like, I've been there for 2 years. I think that's kind of where Gianluca's head may have been. Gianluca, if you're watching this, feel free to comment down below the YouTube video and tell us how you felt in the roleplay, the YouTube comments. But what happens is, because the way Nick framed the call, it was very hard for him to have leverage there. So what we would have wanted to do instead, by the way, is just at the beginning when Nick said, yeah, 5-6K, not bad. I wouldn't have let him get away with not bad. I would have gone, it's okay. It's not really, you're not really thriving though, necessarily, because if it's not bad, why are we looking to do 5 figures? I ask that respectfully, but just, I want to know, why are we looking to make 5 figures? Like, plus, if where you're at right now is okay for you. I would have moved the goalposts, right? So then he would have for a fact been like, well, no, I'm saying that it's not, I have everything covered I need, and it's more money than I've been making before. Cut him off again. So are you saying you want to stay there because it's not bad? You're happy with this kind of money, or is there we desire something more? And then after some pushing, he would have conceded, no, I want to do more. So is 5-6K okay for you, brother, or no? No, it's not okay. Now he win the frame, and he's conceded his position is not good, right? But we're operating with him saying my position is not bad.
To replace that, just go on a new path for yourself.
I mean, I just saw the ad and I figured, hey, like if there's an opportunity to make some side income, potentially go full time, why not look into it, So not that long.
Yeah. Like, again, I just want to make sure, you said side income right now, but just a couple minutes ago, we kind of said that you do want to eventually make this your full-time thing.
Yeah. But you asked like, hey, how long have you been kind of thinking about this? So that was just kind of giving some.
You see how that language comes up again? Side income. like that's my motivation, side income, because he never really built out the frame and the consistency, the bias term, because commitment and consistency bias, he never built that out early on for the prospect to concede and say, I desire to make 5-figure months. He never built that out strongly enough, because Gianluca just let go one step too soon.
Yeah, but you asked like, hey, how long have you been kind of thinking about this? So that was just kind of giving some context of like, hey, this can possibly be side income. But now that we had this conversation, I mean, of course, I would do it full time if I'm making like a minimum of 10 grand.
Okay.
I would do it full time. You hear how it's not I want to go do it full time. That's my goal. He says I would do it full time if I was making a minimum of 10 grand. That's much different than I want to make a minimum of 10 grand so I can quit my job. This is like, hey, if it could happen, it could happen. Why not? I don't want to sell on maybe it can happen. I don't want to sell on that. Okay.
Possibly be side income. But now that we had this conversation, I mean, of course, I would do it full time if I'm making like a minimum of 10 grand.
Okay.
Like I told you, yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long exactly out of the you really told me like how long it's been a thought in your mind?
I mean, I just saw you guys a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's always on my mind, right, to make side income and kind of see what other opportunities are out there. I like financial planning. But of course, like everybody, like everyone wants to earn more money, right?
Yeah, and this kind of actually leads me to the next question. Like everybody wants to earn a little more money, right? But for different reasons. For you, why would that like extra 5-6K, I guess, kind of help you out? Like why is that target the one that you have sitting in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, cost of living.
So now we're talking about the extra 5-6K instead of why is getting to 5-figure months something that is important to you and drives you. And we can't really do that though because we haven't established earlier that that is what drives him. We still let him get away with extra income would be nice. So see, now we're in a problem. And I know Gianluca may have meant an extra 5K total income, like which means 10K, but the way it's worded, still the language. Listen to how he asked it again. The language is still very passive and very much on a little extra. We don't want that.
Planning. But of course, like everybody, like everyone wants to earn more money, right?
Yeah, and this kind of actually leads me to the next question. Like everybody wants to earn a little more money, right? But for different reasons. For you, why would that like extra 5-6K, I guess, kind of help you out? Like why is that target the one that you have sitting in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, cost of living. Of course, not having to live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, $5,000 to $6,000 a month, it's not bad, but of course, it could be better. I got 5 dogs, right? I mean, we do
5 dogs.
Yeah. I like to travel.
Really?
Yeah, I
What
got
breed?
5 dogs. All pit mixes and one little
So
sweet
the
dog.
bigger dogs. I'm sure
Yeah,
they eat a lot.
Yeah, they're all big dogs. So, I like to travel and
Okay.
of course I like money and I like going out to eat and all that stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah, cost of living too, just cost of everything's high. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And how long has that been like a thought in your mind? Like, okay, the cost of living is it could be a bit of a stretch, a bit of a challenge. You got 5 dogs, which is pretty crazy. But like, how long has this been a thought in your mind that you maybe need to figure something out to get that?
Of course, it's always been on my mind, right? I mean, it's always been on my mind, maybe past couple of years, maybe the past year or so. Yeah.
Okay. So the past couple, like the past.
So now Gianluca's in kind of hot water. He's running the call well with everything he got. So what's happening is, and this will happen to a lot of younger, more inexperienced sales reps. Meaning, I'm talking about sales reps who don't really have lots of life experience. I say this with all the love in the world. We train reps who are young, like early 20s, maybe 19, 20, and then we train people who are 30 plus. We have a wide range of people we train. And all those things, all those areas, people have different problems. I found that the people who are in their 30s later have issues with their ego and believing things need to work or look a certain way, and they have issues letting go of that. Whereas the younger people adapt really, really well. Like Gianluca, super young guy, right? Very talented. He's going to make a bunch of money in his life, in his career. He's going to do very well for himself. But you see how he doesn't train with any ego at all. He's like a great client at all. And he's really good at running calls, being super open-minded and meeting the prospect where they're at. He's very good at doing that. But one of the things he's struggling with is getting the right kind of context and the right kind of depth of conversation to bring the prospect to where they need to be. Right, he's struggling to do that. So what's happening is he's being forced to like work with a bunch of shit answers here on the call, and he's working with them. He's doing the best that he can with these answers, but because they weren't good answers, actually, they're not good answers that are helping him on the call. He's struggling, right, and it's a problem.
It's always been on my mind, maybe past couple of years, maybe the past.
So now he's talking about how long has cost of living been on your mind. That's not how long has wanting to make 5 figures so that you can get out of the situation you're in now where you're like struggling with cost of living. How long has that been a desire for you where you actually said, I want to make these kind of changes? That's not the question we're asking. Instead, we're asking, how long has cost of living been on your mind, which is not a very strong question.
Or so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the past couple of years or the past year?
Probably like the past year. Yeah.
Okay. Have you done anything? Because besides today, like, to actually try to better your situation, to try to, do something like that. Have you done anything previously?
No, I mean, I started to start a window cleaning company about probably 8 months ago. Did that for a couple of months, and I had to.
So the question that John Luke is asking, we're still in the problem state. What he's asking right now is essentially, what have you done in the past to try to fix this? Because as a rule in sales, some of you are new to sales, some of you have already been selling, and I know you get a lot from my stuff. So I'll give you one of those big golden nugget insights here. One of the things you want to do is ask the person what they've done previously to try to solve XYZ problem or to try to achieve XYZ outcome. Both of those can work depending on the timing and when you ask them. And you ask that question in order to identify what they may have done previously that had not worked, and then ask why they are either doing things differently now or figure out what held them back, because often what held them back in the past is the thing that's going to hold them back, either in their own mind or in reality, from moving forward. So that's why we asked this. And John Luke is doing a good job of trying to sort out what he's done to try to change his circumstances. But again, he hasn't had a strong desire to change his circumstances up until now on this call. He hasn't said, I strongly want. So the whole architecture of the call is just very weak.
Situation to try to, do something like that. Have you done anything previously?
No, I mean, I started to start a window cleaning company about probably 8 months ago. Did that for a couple of months, and I had to head down to Florida. My parents are sick, so I had to kind of put that on hold. I was making decent money on the side on top of doing my full-time job,
Okay.
a little bit of reselling. So yeah, I'm just always looking to see what other types of opportunities are out there to make some side income. But again, if it gives me the opportunity to do full-time, I'm definitely open to that. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm definitely open to that. More language around I'm open to the possibility. It's not desire. It's not I want to do it full time. You said I'm open to doing it full time if the possibility was there. Hugely problematic.
Opportunities are out there to make some side income. But again, if it gives me the opportunity to do full-time, I'm definitely open to that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So you did the window cleaning 8 months ago?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear about your parents, by the way, but how long ago, like how long did you actually consistently do that for?
Probably 4 months. Yeah, 4 months or so. Yeah.
4 months. And what about the reselling? You mentioned something about reselling.
On and off. On and off.
For how long?
I mean, I still kind of do it to this day, like on and off. I mean, I'll do it. I mean, I've probably sold 15, 20, 30 things within the past 10 months, maybe or so.
Yeah, I've seen the market with reselling can actually get pretty big.
Yeah.
Like the profit can get pretty
Yeah.
big. For you, what's what's kind of the reason why you're just dipping your toes into it? Like you've been on and off with it. You're not really like fully immersing yourself, because again, I'm sure we both actually seen like what potential is out there when it comes to this.
Yeah.
So what's sort of behind that for you?
This is a really good challenge from Gianluca. The prospect says he was doing something that was making some money that had potential that could have worked. Gianluca calls him out on why didn't you just keep doing it? Then why did you stop? Which I think is really, really good there from Gianluca. Good observation, good call out. You want to do that. Really good stuff. Again, unfortunately, because the frame of the call hasn't been set up well, like the standards of the call are not, I desire to make money. We don't have a lot of leverage here. We don't have a lot that we can do unless you solve that right now. But it's getting harder and harder deeper into the call because we haven't addressed it at the top. But still, John Luke is doing the best he can with what he's gotten from now. The call only gets better from here. But just that beginning part was really not great.
Toes into it, like you've been on and off with it. You're not really like fully immersing yourself, because again, I'm sure we both actually seen like what potential is out there when it comes to this.
Yeah.
So what's sort of behind that for you?
I mean, I earn decent money. Of course, I want to earn more.
There we go again. I earn decent money. I earn decent money. I earn decent money again.
Just haven't found something I enjoy, really, that I can kind of put a lot of my time towards.
Mm-hmm. Like when you say enjoy, what do you mean by that specifically?
I don't know, something I actually like doing. Like window cleaning was cool. I was making like good side income, but
Yeah.
I was
Well, how come you didn't go back into it?
So I have dysautonomia. So especially during like the seasons
What's
when
that?
a
Sorry.
it's a nervous system dysregulation. So anytime like the weather's like really hot outside, it can put a lot of stress on my body. So then that's why I decided to quit. But also I had to travel down to Florida because of my parents. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. So was it really like fun, like to do the window cleaning even with that condition we were in?
Yeah, I mean it was fun, but yeah, again, I mean the main thing though was because I had to travel down to Florida and I was down there for a couple of months, so I had to put everything on hold. Yeah.
Okay. You're back now, though, right?
Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah.
Okay. So for you, again, back to the reselling, the only reason you don't continue to do it consistently, like putting your all into it, is because it's, let's say, not fun for you, or
Um,
So you see how now he kind of gets into a pickle because we don't really actually end up having a huge problem, something that was holding him back outside of it wasn't fun. Um, and because the desire of I need to make 5-figure months to change my current state wasn't established as very strong earlier. Guys, let me give you a principle. Look, in sales and communication as a whole, it's not just sales, it's when you're making, even if you're making content, whatever you do, when it comes to communication to achieve outcomes. So if you want to make content that people buy into, if you want to build relationships and network, if you want to sell and make money, whatever it is you want to do, when you're communicating and communicating as a tool, as a structure to accomplish a task, the, what you do at the beginning has impacts on what's gonna happen later. This is a universal law. This is a universal law. Communication follows universal frameworks. An example is if you're building a building and the foundation of the building is very weak and very poor, that building is not going to be up to spec. It's not going to be up to code. It's going to be dangerous. You cannot build a tall building, a skyscraper, on a poor foundation. The foundation has to be solid. It's the same thing in sports. If there's a play, I don't know if you guys watch sports. Some of you, I'm sure, do. So, or if you've played sports, huge sports is a big part of my life. If you're playing a sport, doesn't matter what sport is, and the fundamental structures of a play you're doing or an action you're trying to run in basketball, there's actions. In football, there's actions. If the fundamental structures of what you're trying to do are not set up correctly, you're going to see the consequences of that later down the line. It's a principle in biology. If when you're younger, your 20s, 30s, you don't take care of yourself and you don't set good foundations at the cellular level, there is a very good chance that will come back to hurt you if you don't course correct as you get older. I'm 31, so I'm trying to course correct because, my 20s, I was partying and doing all kinds of shit. But if you'll see that come back to hurt you absolutely later on in your life, it's a real thing. It's real facts. Okay, what does that mean about this? Because Gianluca hasn't set foundations in the call of desire, which reveals a problem. Now he's struggling to find something that held him back. Why? Not because there isn't something that held him back, but it's because held him back from what? Like held him back from what? That's the problem. What did it hold him back from? Right? And we're not getting that. That's not clear. If you can understand these universal laws and apply them to how you communicate, to how you influence, because again, what we're learning here is influence. Sales is influence. It's influencing people to pursue a specific direction. Don't think of it as sales. Hey, I'm just sitting doing sales like a high ticket rep. I'm influencing decision making in real time. If you can understand the rules and laws of influence, you will make a bunch of money. Let's go back and continue. Let's continue watching this and see where this goes.
back now, right?
Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah.
Okay. So for you, again, back to the reselling, the only reason you don't continue to do it consistently, like putting your all into it, is because it's, let's say, not fun for you, or
It was fun, but also I don't.
because, I mean, we haven't really like even tried ecomm just yet, or maybe I'm just like throwing that out. Have you tried it yet? Because we don't really know if this will be fun for you or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of ecom. Just, I mean, the thing with reselling, a lot of it was I had to go drive to places, look at things, do the app thing, see how much potential I can make, go there, buy it, drive back to my house. Maybe I'll go to like Goodwill or something like that. And I hate having to constantly do that. Like I like chilling. I'm a homebody. I do like going out, but if I'm going out, I want to chill, relax, go out to eat. I don't want to have to work and go out. So, so
I
yeah.
see. So it would just
So
be
with the
more.
so with the financial planning, I mean, I get to chill here, talk to people on the phone, all that stuff. So
So what's kind of like the downside of the financial planning for you then, if like there is a good side that you just walking through?
a downside, what do you mean?
Yeah, because you just said, I mean, you get to chill with the financial planning job, you get to stay from home. So what's like let's say the side of it that you maybe don't like as much?
So this is interesting because again, watch this architecture. Look at how I use the word architecture because communication framework, sales, these like strategies. When you're running a call, when you're having a conversation with someone to get to an outcome, having them buy, really follows an architecture. It follows systems. It follows laws. So look at this. What Gianluca is doing in process is correct. He is saying, what's the downside of you being in your current job? Like, what don't you like? Why do you want to disrupt your current state and achieve something new? Move from the state you're at now to a new state. Okay, that's what Gianluca's trying to do. But here's the problem. Because we earlier in the foundations haven't gotten Nick to concede and give us the point of I don't like my current state and I need to change it, Gianluca is going to struggle to get a great answer in downside. He ends up, by the way, getting there because he's a good sales rep. So he understands how to use his words to kind of finesse, and he's closed deals. That's why he's made over 5 figures the last 2 months. He in commissions. He knows how to get where he needs to get to, and he's gotten so much better at that. I love seeing his journey and how he's grown from when he first trained with us. He was such a beginner when he started, and now he's holding his own. He can sell. But if you look at this, look at the behavior here from Nick. Nick, you'll see in a second. I don't remember it very clearly, but I believe he's going to struggle to answer this well, and Gianluca's going to have to force a path or overcorrect it because Nick hasn't conceded. The prospect hasn't conceded. I want to leave my job because I don't like it. I'm unhappy. Something's wrong in my current state. He's never given that to Gianluca. So thus, when Gianluca tries to stack on top of that, there's nothing to stack on because we haven't established in the desire or problem, like what are we trying to fix, anchored to where are we trying to be. Because you figure out what we're trying to fix based on where we were at previously, right? Where we're desiring to go. Excuse me, I misspoke. Where we're desiring to go reveals what's missing. So if you say, I would like to have a cup of coffee, it means you do not have a cup of coffee. Simple as that. So if the prospect says, I would like to make 5 figures, it means he's not making 5 figures or he does not like the way he's making his money right now. But because Gianluca's never gotten him to say, I desire this, now what are you trying to avoid in the current problem state or like a future consequent state in the future? What don't you want to happen? What's your downside if it continues? Is not going to be that strong because we never achieved a high level of desire and I want something else from this prospect. You see? So Gianluca's going to get something. He sorts it out, but it's very complex and it's not smooth.
Yeah, because you just said, you get to chill with the financial planning job. You get to stay from home. So what's like let's say the side of it that you maybe don't like as much that's kind of pushing you to figure something else out?
There's no,
See,
one of the things
he can't answer it well.
Yeah, let's say the side of it that you maybe don't like as much that's kind of pushing you to figure something else out.
There's no, one of the things, I was planning to grow within like my career in financial planning. But as far as like growth trajectory, I have to wait like another year or so, just the way it kind of works in this industry when I got my license and just my scope of work. And I could wait, which I could, like I'm doing decent here. And then if I were to grow and wait like a year and a half, my income would probably jump up another few grand every month. But I don't know. I don't like waiting. I get ADHD and I'm like, shit, I see the growth, but I don't want to wait, but I can wait. So I'm kind of like, I have this internal battle of like, shit, should I look for something else? Do it for side?
Horrible answer. Because this is not anchored to, I need to spend $5,000 on this call. It's not a need. It's, do I want to wait? Do I not? I'm figuring it out. Tell me what you got. I'll think about it and let you know. And because the reason we're getting that is because the holy grail is not big enough. It's not a strong enough desire. I could make 5 figures, sure. If he were to get the promotion at his job, let's say he waited a year, would he be set at 5 figures and he would be able to grow to multi 5 figures consistently, which is what he would be able to do with, I believe they're selling ecomm. He would be able to do that with ecomm. By the way, this is not an endorsement of ecomm. I think that the statistical chance of making it with ecomm is ridiculously low compared to high ticket sales, simply because it's not generally skill based. Like, it's like market based. So if you're that kind of person, then go for ecomm. But I'm telling you, sales is better. Okay. I just had to say that because I'm sitting here endorsing high e-commerce, but I'm coaching that as a sales coach. Okay. So here's what it is. He's struggling to give a good answer, and Gianluca's struggling to get a good answer. Same thing, because there isn't a strong foundation of desire set. So now his answer is like, I could wait, I could not wait.
I got ADHD, and I'm like, shit, I see the growth, but I don't want to wait, but I can wait. So I'm kind of like, I have this internal battle of like, shit, should I look for something else? Do it for side. If it works for full time, I'll jump to that full time. So it's kind of like, I got this internal battle, Yeah.
So every year you get a promotion, or you get or what does that look like?
So again, here's another good job by Gianluca. Gianluca knows his stuff. So what he's doing is like every year you get promoted and you're going to grow rapidly. That's where he's going with it. And then the hope is that he says, no, not every year, because if he says not every year, then, oh wait, how long would it take you to get to consistent 5 figures and, make however much, make a lot of money with your job? And then hopefully he says 5-10 years. And now we're back on track, right? The problem again, though, is Nick hasn't said he desires to even make the kind of money yet. I think he does desire, the prospect does desire that, but you have to trigger him the way I demonstrated earlier, the call into conceding that and giving that. And we haven't done that yet, which is a problem.
So every year you get a like promotion, or you get a, or what does that look like?
No, because I just got my license a couple years ago, and then I kind of took
Yeah.
a year off, and then I just started this about a year ago, like the actual role. And the way it works is that like I'm helping like some of the other reps, like the financial planning reps, like close deals and prospecting and cold
Yeah.
calling and things like that, warm calling. So it's kind of like, hey, you got to earn your way to get that promotion. So that's kind of like the scope I'm in right now.
So over these past 2 years you've been working there, have you got any promotion yet, or?
Well, I've been working there the past year. I got my license 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I didn't
Uh-huh.
work right away after the license, but yeah. What was your
So
question?
when is like your promotion coming up, or
I think in like mid next year.
mid next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is like the promotion look like? Like how, what is like the increase? Like,
Because right now I'm earning like 5 to 6. It really depends. So maybe like 7 to 8 after the promotion.
okay.
Yeah, and then I actually start to earn a little more commission. So maybe
So see, now it's kind of like it's like a shit promotion in a way, right? 7 to 8 plus a little commission on top. Okay, I'll get to 100K. That's not really freedom. We're like right there. Freedom is here, right? Freedom is here. But again, I wish that the prospect would have said what he desires earlier, so then we could say right now, oh, that's not even what you desire, to be honest, based on what you had mentioned to me earlier. But he hasn't really said I desire 5-figure months and quit my job. He hasn't said that. So now Gianluca is going to struggle to really build that out. But Gianluca has a good line here. He has a good line of logic, which is a term we use in selling in our sales process. He has a great line of logic here. The problem is just Nick. We haven't built the architecture earlier to be able to cash this in as strongly as possible.
yeah, and then I actually start to earn a little more commission. So maybe 9. But again, it's a lot of work. Like I got the prospect. I still have the cold call. I'm still talking to people, all that stuff. So it's still work. It's still hard work.
How long do you usually work? I know it's at home, but like how long are you usually like, doing the calling, the?
So now he's moving towards a
10,
time
10 a.m.
thing.
to 7 p.m. every
Tell me
day,
about the
Monday through
time.
Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's been like that for the past year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For you, what's like in terms of the pay, 'cause I think that's sort of like the biggest motivator that I've gotten from you so far, that, cost of living, is what's kind of pushing you to figure something out.
Hmm.
How has that been showing up for you? Like in terms of like when you actually like walk me through your, day to day.
Yeah, I mean, rent's not cheap. I got 5 dogs, got to feed them, take them to the vets, got to pay for my own food. You got the bills, the internet,
Mhm.
car payments. I mean, you got all this stuff. So at the end of the day, it might seem like it's a lot, but really, after all expenses are paid, maybe you have 1,000, maybe $2,000 left, and quite frankly, that's really not a lot, right? Because all that's used for like fun and leisure and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had like $5,000 over, that would be a lot better, then I can actually start saving, right?
Mhm.
Maybe
And
investing in myself in other ways. So.
what would you start saving into, and like how would that help you out?
I don't know, maybe saving, maybe get into like Section 8 real estate, something I can manage on the side and eventually hire like a property management company to do,
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah, I know. Like at the top of the call, you mentioned you were looking at, you saw our ad, it, sparked an interest in you. But what's really the motivator behind actually, being interested in that? And again, I can see all the statistics. A lot of people view the ads.
Yeah.
That same that like those statistics don't really match with who actually hops on the call, and it's even slimmer with the people that actually move forward after the call.
Yeah.
So for you, what's like the motivator to actually like, okay, like I see this opportunity, it looks great. I really want to make the best out of it and see what I can do with it.
I don't know. I mean, from the ad, it's like,
So what he's doing essentially is a very soft why now, and I think that the way he scripted it was okay. And he doesn't have a lot of leverage to say what triggered you to say now is the time to achieve XYZ, because again, we have not gotten that. Like I've said 10 times already. So yeah, John Luke's doing the best with what he's got on this call right now, and it's okay. But the rest of the call is pretty smooth sailing. We're gonna keep looking at it, but yeah, he's doing the best with what he's got right now.
Okay, like I see this opportunity, it looks great. I really want to make the best out of it and see what I can do with it.
I don't know. I mean, from the ad, it's like, I'm familiar with drop shipping. A lot of people are aware of that. And I mean, if I could work from home like I'm already doing, but I don't have to put in maybe that much work. Of course, any business is going to be hard. Like you're going to have to put in work.
Yeah, I'm
But
glad to see
if I
that.
could do that, and there's the processes and the systems and stuff that can be put in play where I can follow and have, I don't know, maybe one-on-one support,
Yeah.
and start to see some sort of result. I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. And like I said, if I can see that I'm making some good side income, definitely go
Yeah.
10x and
Yeah.
do that full time.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm a homebody. I don't,
Yeah.
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 I see. You said that you've been like you are sort of familiar with ecomm.
Yeah.
So what's like since you have been familiar with it, you've already known that about the business model itself. How come we're looking to again actually like take action now? Like actually get that support now.
So I like that he doubled down here and ended up making the question better, because the first answer he got was okay, but it was just mid. Now he's increased the quality of the question, which is great from Gianluca, and now he's going to get a better answer, which is why actually make the decision to achieve XYZ now.
To again actually like take action now. Like actually get that support now and actually
Versus he should
do
add in
something with,
he should add in versus putting it off to later.
the idea that we already had some time.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do this a couple months back?
Yeah.
Instead of saying why now versus later, he says why now versus a couple months back, which is worse than saying why now versus later. To be honest, for this prospect, I won't go into the details. It's too complex on why that is not preferred. But just generally, you want to ask people why do this now versus like, put it off to later. Sometimes it's okay to say why are you doing this now versus previously, and like why haven't you done it previously? But in this case, I don't love that. But it's okay. We still are in the right direction.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do this a couple months back?
Yeah. I didn't see the ad, but
But
You get that answer.
research things
Good
out.
prospecting.
The internet's pretty broad.
yeah, I think
Good job from Gianluca to actually handle that and immediately correct it. He should have just re-asked the question again, though, afterwards, not just corrected it, but he should re-ask the question, take control of that question, of that narrative. But good stuff.
The internet's pretty broad.
yeah, I think just weighing on my mind every day, knowing that hey, like I got an opportunity to grow, but I also have to wait basically another year, and that the cost of expenses are definitely high. It's kind of like, hey, I'm kind of tired of it. I'm 31, like I'm in the beginning of my 30s. I gotta like start making shit real. Gotta start doing things. Gotta start earning more money. Next thing you know, I'll be 35, then I'll be 40, and
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the same position, right? If I'm 40 years old, I don't want to be making just 10 grand a year if I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
I'll be making 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month, right? So
When you think of this reality, right? And I'm glad you brought this up. When you think of this reality of looking, 5 years on the line, 10 years on the line, and you looked at and you picture yourself being capped, being in the same position or not making the progress that you want to really make, like what does that look like for you? Like I know you kind of walked me through it right now, but if you were to really sit down with it, what does that look like for you if you things just continue the exact same way, you don't actually move forward with these opportunities?
Okay, so again, the answer I think is going to not be great because we haven't previously established that he very much wants to be out of his current state right now. He's pretty complacent with where he is. He's just looking at an opportunity. But let's deconstruct the way that Gianluca asked the question and see how it could be better and what was good. Okay.
I'll be making 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month, right? So
when you think of this reality, right? And I'm glad you brought this up. When you think of this reality of looking, 5 years on the line, 10 years on the line,
Okay, so first things first, really good job of Gianluca anchoring immediately to the timeline. When you think of this reality of like 5 years down the line, I wouldn't necessarily say we should go 10 years. Maybe. It depends on who the person is. I don't think it's bad what he did, but 10 years is a little far for a 31-year-old to conceptualize. Like I know me, I think generally now in terms of years of 5. Usually when people are younger, they think in shorter timelines because they've lived a shorter life. So a 20-year-old is going to think 1 to 2 years from now. A 30-year-old is going to start thinking 5 years from now. And 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds start thinking about not retirement, but maybe family and things like that. So it's 10 years from now, like when the kids are older. And then once you start hitting 50, 60, that's when after that point, it's either like 10, 20 years, like death. That's pretty much it, right? Not much is going to change. Because when you're younger, a lot can change in a shorter time period, right? You can go from 19 to 21 and find your life in a completely different situation. Me at 30, again, I made huge changes from around the age of 28 to 30, massive because I got into sales and like learned sales and got very good. But from the age of 30 to 35, yeah, I could make more money. I do make a good amount of money now, but I could make substantially more. But my life wouldn't really change that much, even if I made triple what I make now. My life would not change that much. Other people's lives around me probably would change. So my timeline of change is going to be 5 years, right? My child will be 5 years old by that time, and I'll see a lot different in his life, and maybe certain things I'll have, economically, that will be different on a 5-year timeline. And then as you get older, the timelines start to stretch more and more and more. Okay, so Gianluca, I think from a process standpoint, good job starting with a year. using the hand to describe it, paint a visual picture. He got that from us in protocols. That's what we teach, like paint visual pictures with the hands. He does this really, really well, especially for a young guy. A lot of young guys like his age won't like embody the communication, but I think that he embodies it super well and just takes ownership of it. Great stuff, John. Let's look at though how we can get better. So the 5 years is good. Wouldn't go 10 years, but still that's a check.
Of looking, 5 years on the line, 10 years on the line, and you looked at and you picture yourself being capped, being in the same position.
So far, we're good. Picture yourself being capped. I would have loved for him to go like with I'll move this over here so we can see the expression more. I would have loved for him to go with being capped, like in showing a visceral, the same way he did with the timelines, showing a more of a capped, like you can't break through, you're capped. Okay, but that was still good.
Picture yourself being capped, being in the same position or not making the progress that you want to.
So now it's not good. Not making the progress you want to. What is the progress he doesn't want to make, that he wants to make? Meaning, I know we haven't anchored to a strong desire earlier, but we still have something. He said, I want to make more money, eventually have freedom, right? He provide more from the dogs and the family and, people and stuff in my life, thrive more. He has said that, even though it's not the strong desire to get their 5 figures right now, but he has said he wants those things. So then he says, what is it, potential, or what is it?
And you looked at, and you picture yourself being capped, being in the same position or not making the progress that you want to.
So progress you want to. So I would replace progress you want to. Here's how it sounds. You're being capped at the same position and not making, the progress of being at 5-figure months and being able to thrive and really create the life that you want and have the freedom that you want, income wise, business wise, bro. That's what I would say. Maybe Gianluca will add to it. Let's see what he does.
Picture yourself being capped, being in the same position or not making the progress that you want to really make. Like, what does that?
Yeah, see, really make the progress you want to really make. There's not enough of a picture there. So he started off with a great picture, timeline, all that, and then he said progress you want to really make, which doesn't mean anything. So now his answer, maybe he'll give a good answer. It's a role play, right? So he kind of would know this is what he means, and you can't even help that when you're role playing. But realistically, a prospect, there's a good chance he'll give a shit answer here.
Not making the progress that you want to really make. Like, what does that look like for you? Like, I know you kind of walked me through it right now, but if you were to really sit down with it, what does that look like for you? If you think just continue the exact same way, you don't actually move forward with these opportunities.
See, so he said some good things. If you continue the same way and don't move forward with these opportunities, what is these opportunities? See what I mean? It's not precise enough. It's not specific enough, which leads to a poor answer.
The exact same way, you don't actually move forward with these opportunities.
I mean, like I said, I could wait. I don't want to wait, but I mean,
but why not? Like, what would be the downside of you actually waiting? Let's say a year down the line, 5 years down the line, maybe even 10 years down the line.
So here's the thing. I like what I do, but I also don't like what I do, right? I mean, prospecting, I've been doing prospecting for 5-6 years, but now I'm actually in like a legitimate, like more higher paying role, right? I gotta send emails, I gotta prospect, I gotta coordinate like specific deals and projects and stuff. And it is a little tiring, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, I do have growth. I'll have to wait a year, but it's like, I'm going to do something. I just want to do something different to where I'm not doing maybe this type of work.
So he doesn't give a downside. He gives a desire answer. He says, I would want to achieve this, right? Listen to it again. Listen to the way the answer is. He doesn't actually give a negative. He gives a positive, which is good information, but it's not the question we ask.
You the exact same way, you don't actually move forward with these opportunities.
I mean, like I said, I could wait. I don't want to wait, but I mean,
but why not?
I don't want to wait.
But I mean,
but why not? Like, what would be the downside of you actually?
So good job, Gianluca, course correcting. He says downside.
Let's say a year down the line, 5 years down the line, maybe even 10 years down the line.
So here's the thing. I like what I do, but I also don't like what I do, right? I mean, prospecting, I've been doing prospecting for 5-6 years, but now I'm actually in like a legitimate, like more higher paying role, right? I gotta send emails, I gotta prospect, I gotta coordinate like specific deals and projects and stuff. And it is a little tiring, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, I do have growth. I'll have to wait a year, but it's like, I'm going to do something. I just want to do something.
So he gives us, it'll be tiring, but then he moves on to what I want.
I just want to do something different to where.
So what I would have done is the moment he says it'd be tiring, I would cut him off and say tiring in what way? Because then we'll get from that question, we'll scale it out into more frustration on the future. But Gianluca misses that. That's just experience, just hearing language and picking up on the exact language points and fast pacing them forward. He misses that.
Tiring, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, I do have growth. I'll have to wait a year, but it's like, I'm going to do something. I just want to do something different to where I'm not doing maybe this type of work. That's kind of like the point.
And that's what we're feeling.
So we never got really the downside. We kind of started with it, but we never got a okay. And if you were to continue doing this kind of work, what would the downside be? Gianluca lets it go now. He just started to get a good answer actually, and he started to earn a good answer, but then he lets it go.
This type of work. That's kind of like the point.
And that's what we're feeling now, and that's how we feel in this current situation, right? And I appreciate you like being transparent with me and opening up. But what if this feeling just continues, right? What if like the feeling never goes away of like being tired, being exhausted, not making any change? Like if that's how you feel now, like, how do you think things will look, a couple of years down the line?
Yeah, probably.
He actually saved it. It's broad again. He's saying how will things look. So I'm actually underestimating what he's doing. Funny enough, I watched this, but I did it with him in real time. I was here, and at the end of this, I end up coaching it. I give him a breakdown for like 20 minutes. But yeah, that's interesting. It was a good recovery. It was a good recovery. He sticks on his gun still. I think there's better ways to script it, but he stuck to his gun. So good.
It was a way of like being tired, being exhausted, not making any change. Like if that's how you feel now, like, how do you think things will look, a couple of years down the line?
Yeah, probably not good. Yeah.
What does not good mean?
Why not?
Why not? Different than what does not good mean? Why would it not be good? You could get away with both, I guess. Yeah.
Because I could be stuck in the same boat, kind of. But again, I have the growth, but I have to wait a year. But again, I don't want to wait a year. I want to find.
And that's most people's realities, man. Like.
So the other problem here, I'm not going to get too much into this. This is something I would teach in one of the our live calls, but this is going to be a little bit too dense here for YouTube. But I'll give you the simple thing, simple idea. It's like because Nick hasn't conceded that he doesn't want to go for that promotion, and that the promotion is not going to change his whole life. Maybe he wants the promotion, but that 1 year bump is not going to change everything. It's not going to put him in the best position ever, because we never conceded that. That's still on the table as a decent option, right? So he says, I still have the 1 year thing, but so it's still even on the table as a possible option. I don't want it on the table as a sales rep. The only thing I want on the table is working with us, learning ecomm, or nothing, or else everything else sucks. And we don't have that right now.
Kind of, but again, I have the growth, but I have to wait a year. But again, I don't want to wait a year. I want to find.
That's most people's realities, man. Like man to man, we both know that that's most people's realities. Like they don't really grow much, especially after the especially after the 30s. Oftentimes, people just stay stuck in the exact same situation.
Yeah.
Why is that really something that you don't want to settle for? Why is that really something that you don't want to let happen?
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, high rent, 5 dogs. The next thing you know, I'm going to be 35. I'm going to be 40. Still not earning that much. The cost of living is going to go up year by year. So I might as well try to get ahead of it, right? And earn more money before I put myself in a position to where I'm earning more money at the same time where the markets are increasing as far as expenses go. Then I'm really getting nowhere,
Yeah. Do you feel like there might be any other things in your life potentially that if you don't get to XYZ goal, it might hold you back from? And I only say that because I speak with a lot of people. I mean, especially people in around your age, around your situation. A lot of people want to buy their first home. A lot of people want to start a family eventually. It might not be the case for you, but is there anything else that might come up when you do think of these situations?
I don't know about buying a home. I don't know if that's a priority. Family.
I don't like that Gianluca brought up a bunch of things that he had never really mentioned before. Like the prospect never mentioned these things as strong desires, and Gianluca just brings them up kind of as a Hail Mary because, again, his desire hadn't been very strong. So Gianluca's having to work with whatever he's got here. It's not very helpful.
If you don't get to XYZ goal, it might hold you back from.
And I don't like he said XYZ goal. That was, I think he maybe did that because of role play, and he wasn't fully immersed in it as a real call. But that wasn't great.
Earning more money at the same time where the markets are increasing as far as expenses go. Then I'm really getting nowhere.
Yeah. Do you feel like there might be any other things in your life potentially that if you don't get to XYZ goal, it might hold you back from? And I only say that because I speak with a lot of people. I mean, especially people in around your age, around your situation. A lot of people want to buy their first home. A lot of people want to start a family eventually. It might not be the case for you, but is there anything else that might come up when you do think of these situations?
I don't know about buying a home. I don't know if that's a priority. Family, yes, but maybe in a few years. I want to get financially straight before doing that. Another thing, it's like even though I'm earning $5,000-$6,000 a month and I have like $2,000 left over maybe in like expenses, I've been traveling back to Florida probably 4 or 5 times this year, and I've spent a lot of money on Airbnb, so that's another thing too. So it's like, it does suck to use all those expenses to travel, and you have to stay places and things like that. So, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
For you, like, having a family, being able to travel more freely, is that because I do want to put the money aside for a little bit, because at the end of the day, it's just a like it's just a representation of something in your life, just a digital representation of something.
Yeah.
For you, is it what it represents, like that freedom and that flexibility to at some point also have a family, like be that man that can provide for his future family? Or how is
Yeah.
it for you?
Yeah. It doesn't really hit my emotional heartstrings though. Like,
And you see how now John Lucas is starting to kind of grasp at straws. He's going into family. What I would do is just ask a very clean desire question here. I would say, let's say you're in a position where you've made the 5 figures, bro, and you're building a business. You're doing something that gives you more freedom. You don't have to rely on waiting for a yearly or every other year promotion that gives you an extra 10K a year. But you actually are making more money, bro. What does that do for you? Let's say personally, just beyond numbers. What do you do with that? What does that do for you in your life personally? What do you invest time in? Where do you invest your time, your money? What do you do with that? That's what I would ask him, probably. Get him to answer it. Gianluca is forcing it in a way that's not necessary. And I think it's because he's, at this point, realizing, I haven't gotten much in terms of desire where this guy actually wants to be. We haven't really gotten anything like that. We also haven't even gotten a problem that we need to solve. I don't know still why he needs us to help him with any of this. We haven't gotten that either. And that all comes from desire. What are you hoping to achieve? What's holding you back from getting there, right? We missed that. I'll demo it in a second. You're going to see my call. This has been a long one, I know, but hey, this is how you get better. You immerse yourself, right? So let's see.
For you, like, having a family, being able to travel more freely, is that because I do want to put the money aside for a little bit, because at the end of the day, it's just a representation of something in your life, just a digital representation of something.
Yeah.
For you, is it what it represents, like that freedom and that flexibility to at some point also have a family, like be that man that can provide for his future family? Or how is it for you?
That is not what's driving this guy.
Provide for his future family. Or how is it for you?
Yeah. It doesn't really hit my emotional heartstrings though. Like, because at the end of the day, like you need to be financially set to have a family. So my priorities are more kind of hitting that financial goal, $10,000 a month plus, of course, way more if I can, and then I can kind of start.
I love how now he's starting to talk about $10,000 a month plus. He is saying that he's taking ownership of it more than he was at the beginning of the call.
Hit my emotional heartstrings though. Like, because at the end of the day, like you need to be financially set to have a family. So my priorities are more kind of hitting that financial goal, $10,000 a month plus, of course, way more if I can, and then I can kind of start focusing on the family. So, because if I start focusing on things and I'm not focusing on the money, then you're kind of shit out of luck, At least that's the way it kind of works.
100%. But like for you, like, what is the is that a motivator? Like, obviously, like right now, you don't have a wife, you don't have any kids just yet.
Yeah.
But how would it feel like once you are, let's say, financially stable, you are able to not have like that weight on your shoulders, that constant pressure of like the finances creeping up every so often, and you are able to start focusing on the more beautiful side of life, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to constantly be focused on money, money, money. Like it's not. I mean, some people are out there, a little more maniacs than us. But how would it be when you're actually able to focus more on that beautiful side of life?
I mean, of course it would be good, but yeah, again, I'm a money man. I love money. I love money and money.
And now I think Gianluca is just talking a bit past him. Like he's really saying, give me something about the beauty of life and stuff. And Nick is just like, yeah, dude, it's pretty much about the money right now for me. So instead it would be, what would you do with the money? Beyond the money, what would you do with the money? What would that do for you personally? Just let him pick. That's what we'd want now.
At the end of the day, nobody wants to constantly be focused on money, money, money. Like it's not. I mean, some people are out there, a little more maniacs than us. But how would it be when you're actually able to focus more on that beautiful side of life?
I mean, of course it would be good, but yeah, again, I'm a money man. I love money. I love money and money. Yeah, I mean, with money, more freedom, more time, you can support more for your family. But of course, I want to have a family eventually. But my mind is on the money.
Yeah,
to be honest.
100%.
So,
So it's 100%.
yeah.
It unlocks a lot of things.
Yeah. Plus, I got my dogs. Like, if something happened to my dogs, like if they had like a tumor or needed some sort of surgery, I'd need that money to pay for that, right? And
100%.
it's expensive. So
100%. And what state are you in, by the way?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay, so not too far from me.
Yeah. Where are you at?
I'm in Jersey, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm far.
Yeah.
I'm far.
But I mean, it really, the most important thing for me is the commitment.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that we can help you out, but we can only help out a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you are ready to actually embody that type of person that is willing to, take the steps, take that bet on himself, be that man that takes responsibility over his life and his actions, and actually, make the most out of the help that he can potentially get. Like, are you actually ready to, draw that line?
Yeah,
understanding.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I took that test for being a financial planner and been doing this for years. I've been prospecting in general, like in sales for years, and I can definitely put in the hard work, right? I mean,
Let's do it.
yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely can. Yeah,
let's do it.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was that. We'll go to my call next. My role play is a lot we can learn from that one. Quick assessment. So I gave Gianluca a high C for that. I thought it didn't cut the standard for S or A, clearly. It could have been a B potentially, but we didn't really get a problem we could have solved. We didn't really get a thing that the company needs to fix. What is he paying us for? We didn't really identify that, and people buy because of that. People buy because we as a company, the offer solves a problem for them. We didn't really get a problem that we were solving. We did get some level of desire, some level of discomfort from him. Like, hey, I don't love where I'm at, but we never got a, I'm here really because I need you guys to solve this for me. And I thought Gianluca could have done a much cleaner job getting there sharper. But overall, you can see that was a decent call. I think that if the prospect was a bit different, he could have closed him. But this guy was coming in with a lower level of desire. And we didn't really stretch that and trigger him to lean into his furthest level of desire. It is very hard to sell when you don't do that, but a lot we can learn from. Let's continue to get better. We'll look at my call next. I'm going to step off and go get a quick glass of water because I need to hydrate early in the morning and I'm just drinking coffee. All right, and I'll see you guys in a second, and we'll continue. All right, let's go ahead and dive into my call. A lot that we can learn here. This is me running a fitness offer with Husham, who's the performance coach in our protocols training program. I asked him to play a prospect who has a little bit more ego, a guy who's been more successful, and we're role playing a fitness offer where the desire, the urgency is lower. So you'll watch how I actively build out more desire, how I stretch that out and get to where I need to get to have a really clean, great discovery. Okay, let's play ball and let's go ahead and learn. What's up, bro? Can you hear me well?
Yes, yes. How you doing?
I'm believe it or not, how I'm doing is actually tired. I'm barely hanging on for dear life, man. That's how I'm doing right now.
What's going on?
4 p.m.
What's happening?
It's 4 in Budapest. 4
wow.
p.m. So and I have just a bunch of personal things going on in life, man. So I'm tired.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we are. Yeah. It's good to connect with you. Good to connect with you, brother. Let's So real quick, one thing that's interesting when you're opening up a call, if you want to do it really, really smooth and you want to open your calls with a really strong frame, it helps to be real, raw, and just tell the truth. It's one of the best things you could do. So a lot of reps, when they open their calls, I find people selling try to appear to be someone they're not. Yeah, I'm doing great, or they try to tell a corny joke. I found that the best way to open up and establish a great frame on my calls is just talk about how I'm doing. So if I'm having an amazing day, I'll tell them something that happened. Dude, I had an amazing day. I just found out this thing. It's just real. It sets a great tone and they feel like they're talking to someone who's authentic. It's a great pattern interrupt as well. Okay, let's continue. And I have just a bunch of personal things going on in life, man. So I'm tired.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we are. Get them laughing.
Yeah.
It's good to connect with you. Good to connect with you, brother. Let's talk about fitness. I work with Chris's team, and we use this call as an audit and then an onboarding if the audit makes sense. So I want to check out where you're at with fitness and what your general goals are when it comes to aesthetic, when it comes to confidence. Then we'll map out a game plan with our services and tell you how it aligns if it doesn't align. And if it does align, we can talk about what next steps would look like onboarding into the Chris's Ascension community and get started. And if you feel like it doesn't make sense, we'll figure out why and see if there's anything that's been missed. And if it does make sense, we'll get you in.
Okay.
That sounds good. We'll start, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell me what brought you to the call, man. Like, what are you, what brought you here? How can we help you?
Well,
You'll notice the same standard question that I ask, what brought you here? How can we help? Same opening question. The same, I think, one Gianluca asked, what I'll cast a wide net and see where they come in. Here, how can we help you?
Well, I've been following John, influencer for some time now. I would say like a year.
John is Chris's brother, actually. So they both make content on the YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Brother, so they're
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I was watching them when they were doing a lot of vlogs. Back then, like a year or 2 years ago, and then they started doing this fitness journey.
That was just after COVID. Cool.
Yeah. So I've been watching them.
What's funny is we're not really even. This is not even a real call. Like it's a role play, but we teach the thing in protocols that which is our training program, that if you're going to role play, if you're going to train, you want to train on something so intensely where you immerse yourself in it like it's the real thing. You know, you want to train in real speed. So Husham is talking about the way he saw the content, and I'm just building out a real narrative around how this content works and this universe of the role play where it sits.
A year or 2 years ago, and then they started doing this fitness journey.
That was just after COVID. Cool.
Yeah. So I've been watching them since then, and then just like a lot of vlogs, and now I think they launched a fitness thing. They help a lot of like professional guys like myself making good money and all that.
Yeah. I
just wanted, like, I saw a lot of you guys' ads because when you click one thing, it just keeps popping up on your screen and whatnot. So I was like, you know what? Let's just book in the call, see if
Okay, so you already can hear the language here. Listen to it, and I want you to be present with what we're saying here. He's with what we're going over. He says, "I just saw an ad. You see these things pop up, so I was like, why not?" Same path as what happened on the previous call with Gianluca. I saw an ad. Why not do it? I might as well just do this, which immediately is establishing a pathway, or as we could call it, a frame of this is a convenience for me, or like something I could do or could not do. I just wanted to see what it was about. So already I know I'm not going to have to fight him on anything or challenge or reframe anything immediately. I might have to, but I don't think I need to do that right now. It's too early. But already I don't want it to just be, oh, I could do this, I could not do it. I need to establish with him what's the goal, the intention, the outcome we have set here, right? I have to establish that very clearly. So look at how I do this.
Myself making good money and all that.
Yeah.
I just wanted, like, I saw a lot of you guys' ads because, when you click one thing, it just keeps popping up on your screen and whatnot. So I was like, you know what? Let's just book in the call, see if there is any alignments, if there's anything we can,
And what
work
were you hoping to get out of this call? Like if we were to work together, let's say there was alignment, what would you want to get out of that? So you see what I'm doing here? I don't just say, okay, cool, move on. Well, I do say, okay, cool, move on, but I move on with a lot of intent. I say, what are you hoping to get? Because if I can establish what he's trying to get to, then I can establish what's lacking. And we as a company can take him from a place of lack to a place of achievement. Go from lack to achievement. And I want that to happen, right? So watch how we do this together. Let's say there was alignment. What would you want to get out of that?
Well, just, I guess find out more.
Well, just minimizing language, just I guess find out more. Horrible language. Find out more. I would love to find out. We're not on a call to find something out, dude. You're here on a call to pay us for a specific outcome, specific result. In this case, fitness, confidence, transformation. So I need to get him to the desire of I would like to achieve XYZ. Get out of that.
Well, just I guess find out more about what you guys do in terms of like dieting, workouts, and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Horrible answer. I want to find out more about what you guys do. If you want to find out what we do, I can pull up a Google sheet. You can we have people who talk about it. We have like a landing page that talks about what we do. I do not tell people about what we do here. I look at strategies in which you can onboard with us. So I'm not saying you say all that, and I literally am not going to say all that to him here, but that's in my mind. The language is finding out about what we do. That is not what we're on a sales call for. When you're selling, the person is not there to find out about what they do, about what you do. They're there so that your company can provide them a solution. Your job in sales, if you are a sales rep, or if you're running an offer, you're selling something, creating content, whatever it is, your job, your literal job is to solve that. It is to create a connection between where they want to be versus where they are now, and providing your services to solve that.
Just I guess find out more about what you guys do in terms of like dieting, workouts, and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like that's like some stuff that I might need in the journey right now.
Okay.
Anything just to make it easier.
And
in my journey.
It makes sense. And you would need dieting for what purpose exactly? Because dieting. So there's two things he could have said here, and both of them I would have gotten to the same place. So one thing he could have said is find out more what you guys do because I'm very interested, or just find out. What I would have said is find out for what purpose. Like let's say you find out a bunch of stuff. What do you want to do with the information? Then we would have gotten to the answer he's probably going to give us now. Or what he just said, I feel like I might need some of those things eventually at this point in the journey. Might kinda still soft language, but need it for what purpose? Do what with it, right? Same path, and now we get a desire or specific outcome.
I might need in the journey right now.
Okay.
Anything just to make it easier.
And
in my journey.
It makes sense. And you would need dieting for what purpose exactly? Because dieting is always used for a specific reason. So what's the reason?
Losing weight for sure. I want to lose weight. Not that I'm like overly obese or something. I don't know the type of guys that you guys like have on these calls.
So now we have the first level of desire. I would like to lose weight, but he qualifies it. Not that I'm overly overweight. So I want the outcome, but my situation currently is not that bad. Watch what I do here, guys. This is really, really dense stuff. And we didn't prepare this role play. This is me in real time demoing for the team in the live session because we ran a discovery boot camp, like I had said earlier. We ran a discovery boot camp, and I told the guys, hey, and guys and girls, hey, I'm gonna demo for you guys and show you what we're doing. Okay, so let's look at how I build this out, because right now what he's doing is he's starting off anchoring with, I do want to lose the weight, but I'm not that bad. So that means the desire is weaker because I'm trying to go from not bad to like good. That's not very helpful.
Like overly obese or something. I don't know the type of guys that you guys like have on these calls, but I'm not like overweight or anything like that. I just want to look nicer.
Are you at the weight you want to be now?
No. Okay. I would say I'd let myself.
So I already start immediately punching him back in the face because he says, I am good, great prospecting here from Husham, really putting in these subtle things that have to be handled. Really good job. He says, I'm not bad. But then I ask him, are you where you want to be right now? Like, are you at the weight you ultimately want to be? And he gives a no with a shrug, like, no, not where I want to be. Right. So immediately I've established just with a sentence, you're not where you want to be. So there's a gap between where you want to be versus where you are now. And I do that really, really fast. So as an example, on John Lucas' call, when the prospect had said, when Nick had said, yeah, I want to make some side income. So what we could have done is side income leading to how much money you want to bring in per month. Like, you only want to make side income, or would you like to make proper income? How much do you want to make? I know I combined a bunch of questions there, guys. Don't kill me for it. Sometimes I do that on my calls. I break rules because I know how to do it. Okay, but you clarify that. Most likely he actually did this. John Luca did this actually. He got him there. He would say, well, no, I want to make, 10K, five figure months. Okay. Are you happy with the income you make now then? Like, you're good with that, or you want more? You see, same thing I'm doing here. But this is a different version because he's coming in with a little bit more complacency and ego than the prospect that Nick played.
I would say I'd let myself go just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Let myself go just a bit.
No.
Okay.
I would say I'd let myself go just a little bit. The last like a year or so.
Okay.
And,
how much weight are we looking to lose?
I would say.
And it doesn't even. Are you kilos or pounds? What are you thinking?
Kilos.
Yeah. So
that's what we should.
you don't even need to have something like 30 kilos or something like that. What is your intention for weight loss? So what I do is, because he's already saying I don't need to lose much. So what I do is I'm like, how much do you want to lose? And instead of me just asking him how much you want to lose, because I feel like this kind of prospect would naturally say, well, I don't need to lose much. So what I do is I just wipe that out for him. I'm like, you can't say that. So I say to him, I'm not saying you need to lose 30 kilos, which is me exaggerating because that's a lot of weight to lose, right? 30 kilos. But what would you want to lose? So now it wouldn't make sense verbally if he says, well, I don't need to lose much because I already, as the sales rep, said that for him. So it does not mechanically make sense if he delivers that information to me. What do you think?
Kilos.
Yeah, so
that's what we should.
You don't even need to have something like 30 kilos or something like that. What is your intention for weight loss?
If I can lose, I would say like 5 kgs or 7.
Okay.
That would be a nice start.
And what do you weigh now?
I am sitting at 95.
Okay. So, and how tall are you?
6'2", 6'1".
6'2". So sweet spot then would be to get you down to, let's say 7. Do you mind if I put that at 10? I like to round up. I like to round the numbers off. Would 10 be like
sure.
losing 10, or can we talk about?
No. It would be nice. It would be nice to lose 10 kgs.
Okay. So here we go. So what I did is, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go here because I didn't like, on fitness offers, I'm always torn between, is 5 kgs enough? Because the number is not amazing, but it's also what's behind the number, right? More confidence, etc. And if the confidence in things is what you would need with the 5 kgs, is what you would achieve with the 5 kgs, 7 kgs, I'm actually fine with it. But if the outcome is grand, we have something in Discovery we teach, which is the prospect needs to have a grand achievement, something that is far past where they're at now, but is also realistic for them to achieve. All right, so 5 kgs is not far past where he's at now. That's very simple to lose 5 kgs. However, if the outcomes of that are incredible for him, way more confidence, right, and he would look very different, then I'm happy with it. But what I do is I don't settle for that. I stretch it to 10 kgs, and I just ask him, can we do 10? Most people are going to play. They're going to be like, yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? And then watch, he does do that. He says, why not? And then watch how I change it from a why not into a desire. I change it from, yeah, why not? To I actually want it. Remember, guys, there's a difference between why not have something versus I desire something. It's not the same. They're different.
6'2", 6'1".
6'2". So sweet spot then would be to get you down to, let's say 7. Do you mind if I put that at 10? I like to round up. I like to round the numbers off. Would 10 be like against losing 10, or can we? So I add that into, would 10 be I'm against it losing 10, or can we talk about?
No. It would be nice. It would be nice to lose.
Would be nice is really bad language. 10, or can we talk about?
No. It would be nice. It would be nice to lose 10 kgs.
Is it something you'd want? Like you'd want that, or is it like it would be nice I could or I could not? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. So we're talking about. All right. So that was very passive. I didn't do it in a strong way. I didn't aggressively make him say, I really desire 10, because I don't actually know if he deeply, deeply desires it. I still get there. I get there in a different way. But now at least we've built it here right up to, no, I want to make that happen. And he tangibly gave us that. Look at how I build out the rest of the call. Is it like, it would be nice I could or I could not? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. So we're talking about 6'2", sitting at 85 kgs. Okay. Beyond just like a number, is there a look that we're looking for, like a physique look? So that's what I do. So instead of me saying I'm gonna stick on the numbers, because he was very low on the numbers, he didn't really say numbers. He was kind of like 5 kgs, and I don't need him to force a number, especially with weight loss, because weight loss is a very tricky thing. There's some people who would be in a much better shape if they just cut a little bit, right? But the way they would look physique wise would be different, and thus the confidence would be different. So I'm gonna go that way. And instead of just saying number, give me a physique, a way that you want to look, and let's use that as the whole. Is there a look that we're looking for, like a physique look that you would want to show up as? Is there something there too, or is it just like a little number that means something to you?
It's just a number that I guess that sits nicely in my mind.
Well,
For
how
now,
do you look at that number in your dream scenario? Like, what do you look
Yeah,
like being 6'2"
that's a
at
good question.
85?
Very good question. I would say like the professional athlete type of body. You know what I mean? Because I
Okay.
used to play a lot of sports when I was younger.
Okay. Okay.
And like my favorite athletes and all that stuff used to sit around
Mhm.
that weight. You know what I mean? Around like the 80, 75, somewhere.
All right. So now we're getting there. 6'2" wants to look like an athlete. That's different. 6'2" and desires to look like an athlete. We're building out a profile around desire.
there. And I'm very lean. And I'm very tall as well. So
Yeah.
it would sit nicely on my body, I would say.
And you don't have that now. You're not in that kind of. Here we go. So when the prospect wants something, if the prospect says I'd like a glass of water, it means you don't have the water, which means you are what? Thirsty. You lack water. So it's an analogy, right? So now he says, I would like to look like this, which means what? He doesn't look like that, and that's going to be the source of the pain. Doesn't mean that's the source of the problem. The problem is what we're going to try to solve. The problem is what's not working. But the pain is it frustrates me not having this outcome. So watch how we get pain now.
5, somewhere there. And I'm very lean. And I'm very tall as well. So
Yeah.
it would sit nicely on my body, I would say.
And you don't have that now. You're not in that kind of look now.
Well, I used to be a lot more shredded than that. You know what I mean? I used to
But
be a
now
lot
you're
less.
not.
But now I'm
at
not.
95
Exactly, right.
kgs.
Exactly. So I'm not as shredded as I used to.
Yeah.
I used to have abs and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How's
It's like it's still there, Tim. It's still there, but it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's there somewhere, dude. But we're about greatness, man. Like that's the standard we have for our clients. So even if we're close or if we're somewhere around the vicinity, at the end of the day, the standard that Chris and John have for all of our people is like we want you to be at your peak performance, ideal self. So I want you to watch something. Look at how I suppress this really quick. He tries to turn it into like a joke, like something not so serious. And because I'm selling, I'm going to ask this guy for 7.5K or 10K for an offer. That's what you're doing in high ticket sales. You're getting someone to commit $5,000, which is a month of their salary, or more or less, whatever. You're asking them to commit that to a transformation that they've never experienced or have usually never experienced for their business, for their health, their relationships, their personal life, their finances. All right. So when someone establishes frames that are unhelpful to that commitment, you need to smash them out at the right time. And this is the right time now. So watch this. We're going into desire, and then we're about to trigger pain, which is I'm not there. I don't have the abs. I don't have the physique I want, which probably ties into confidence. And I need to get that now. I need to very quickly get, or soon get, how does that tie, like what's missing not having that? Where are you seeing that show up? How is that affecting you? But watch how he tries to kill it.
But now I'm
at
not.
95
Exactly.
kgs.
Exactly.
There's the face. You saw the face. That's not good. That's what I'm showing with my face. Not good.
So I'm not as shredded as I used to.
Yeah.
I used to have
Not shredded as it used to be.
all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How's
It's like it's
how's
still there.
So I used to have abs and all that, and then he jumps in. It's still there, which means it's not that bad, right? It's still there, kind of. Ha ha ha! It's funny.
And all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
By the way, Husham, we love you. You're just being a prospect. I know.
Stuff, You know what I mean?
How's
it's like it's still there, Tim. It's still there, but
So I was about to ask him, how is that affecting you just personally not being at the weight? And I don't even know if I liked the way I was going to ask that question. I would have probably solved it or saved it in some way. But yeah, I don't love that, the way it sounded, the way I was about to ask it. But he cuts me off and he goes and throws some water on this fire I'm trying to build.
abs and all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
How's
It's like it's still there, Tim. It's still there, but it's not. You know what I'm saying?
The moment he says it's still there, look at my reaction. I don't laugh with him. I don't say, yeah, it is. Haha. I go, I throw my hands up like, yeah, I don't, dude, come on. It's still there. What the fuck? What does that even mean? What kind of standard are you setting for yourself as an individual, as a man, as a human being?
But it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's there somewhere, dude. But we're about. You see, I just dismiss it immediately. Maybe it's there somewhere, but I don't really care because, and then I give him a reason. Maybe it's there somewhere, dude. But we're about greatness, man. Like that's the standard we have for our clients. So even if we're close or if we're somewhere around the vicinity, at the end of the day, the standard that Chris and John have for all of our people is like we want you to be at your peak performance, ideal self. So back to the way things are now. It seems like there's a bit of a difference between. So what I do is I preface it by, and I kill what he said and preface it by the standard we have for all of our people is this. What I could have done better here, actually, I think this was very solid, but I could have done better asking him to buy into it. I mean, do you want to have that kind of standard and that expectation for yourself? Like, is that how you see yourself, or is it like, oh, I'm halfway there, or I'm kind of there, so it's okay. Like, who do you want to be? I could have done that now. I end up doing a bunch of that later on, by the way, so the call is still great. But I could have done that earlier here and built a much stronger frame this exact second at your peak performance, ideal self. So back to the way things are now. It seems like there's been a bit of a difference between how you were when were you in athlete shape and like peak performance?
Oh man.
So I'm like, there's a difference between now versus back then, but I want to assign a time gap to it because I didn't really know how long ago that was. So I was like, let me just quickly grab time here and insert that into the statement. I think that's what I'm going to do. When were you in athlete shape and like peak performance?
Oh man. 5 years ago. 5 years. That was just before I started my full-time thing, my full-time job.
I see.
And then I was playing college soccer and all of that stuff. And then that was like the peak, like when you're young, healthy, and like a lot of energy.
Of course.
You
notice I'm not laughing with him again here because he's taking this already not too casually. So I don't want to mirror that by laughing, ha 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 ha, smiling with him. I see.
And then I was playing college soccer and all of that stuff. And then that was like the peak, like when you're young, healthy, and like a lot of energy.
Of course. What do you feel now? What do you feel now then, if not that? Because I know the weights has gone past where you wanted it to be. What else are you feeling that's not good now? Meaning, and that doesn't mean that you're waking up every day in the mirror crying and hating yourself, dude. I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. No.
But what are you feeling that isn't great? So a lot of stuff that I'm doing here. Look at how I ask the question now. I don't let him qualify it again. I say, let's just dig more into pain. And remember earlier how I said I didn't like the way I was asking that affecting you question. I was going to say, how does that affect you? I actually ask a different version of that here, much better though now. I had some time to sit and build out an actual pain, and now I ask it again. But look at how I ask it. Let's deconstruct it.
Of energy.
Of course. What do you feel now? What do you feel now then, if not that? Because I know so he gave me, like, I used to feel energy. So what are you feeling now? Like, if you don't feel that, what you felt back then, athlete, peak of your performance, what do you actually feel now? And look how I ask him that. What do you feel now? Now then, if not that, because I know the weights has gone past where you wanted it to be. What? So I established you're not happy with the weight now. I'm adding that into the question. Has gone past where you wanted it to be. What else are you feeling that's not good now? Meaning, what are you feeling that's not good? Just tell me the negative. It's not good now. Meaning, and that doesn't mean that you're waking up every day in the mirror. Qualified it also because I think he's the kind of person who says, yeah, it's not so bad. So I'm going to say that for him and wipe it off the table so he can't give me that because it wouldn't make sense for him to repeat exactly what I said. People won't usually do that. And that doesn't mean that you're waking up every day in the mirror crying and hating yourself, dude. I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. No.
But what are you feeling that isn't great right now? What are you feeling that isn't great? And I qualified it enough so he should give me a really good answer. But what are you feeling that isn't great right now?
That is not great.
He struggles to answer the question now. It's good prospecting here. He's like, that's not great. I don't even know. I wonder if I'm going to jump in here and add to the question to make it easier. That's normally what I would do. Like if I'm watching this right now and he says,
that is not great.
I'd cut him off because I already could see, okay, I'm not going to get a good answer. He's struggling. I would jump in right now and say, well, and when I say not great, I mean, what in your life is less than ideal because you are not at the physique, at the level of fitness, at the level of aesthetic that you personally want to be? Where are you seeing that exactly show up? Even if it's small, bro, like in your own mind, even if it's a small thing, where are you seeing that? Because we want to solve problems for you. That's what I would do now in retrospect. Let's see what I actually do here. I do not remember.
That is not great. I don't know.
Because if we work with you and you come into Ascension, we have to fix problems. That's the only way. So I did the second half of what I just did. I did that first.
For sure.
We're like where we're at now is not where we ultimately want to be. We don't believe in complacency. So tell me where it is. What are you seeing right now? You're like, I can do better than this. I don't like the way this feels. What is it? I wonder if I should add in a qualifier, be like, even if it's like small. I would probably do that because he's thinking it's not so bad. So I would just meet him there, small, and then make that bigger, stretch that small to big. But I think that starting small would give me a better answer. I don't like the way this feels. What is it?
I guess the biggest thing, it would be just the comparison of my fitness and the way I look in comparison to my earning. You know what I mean? Or like just my job and all of that stuff.
Can you tell me more? I don't hear that a lot. We have guys that make really good money actually, but I haven't heard that specific. What does that mean?
Well, I make very good money. Like I've been in this industry. Like I'm in tech sales, so I've been in the industry about 5-6 years now. I make very good money, like $350,000-$400,000 a year. I'm like one of the senior advisors at the company. So It's just I want to match that type of, that type of aesthetic with this type of income. You know what I mean?
It doesn't match now. There's like an incongruent. Boom. So he said, I would remember, guys, it's such a simple formula and it's hard unless you're training. That's why I tell people if you want to learn the scale of sales, if you want to learn the skill of influence, the skill of communication at a very high level, and then have access to opportunities, I always tell people, come in and train with me. Just pay me to make you money. Use my time. And Husham's time. He's a performance coach too, with us. So, but right here, you can see it's like, it's so good. It's magic. So what does he do here?
I make very good money, like $350,000, $400,000 a year.
I make good money.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm like one of the senior advisors at the company. So it's just, I want to match that type of, that type.
So he smiles. I don't smile with him, but he says, I want to match what I'm making. I want my lifestyle to be congruent with what I'm making. What does that mean? I want something means I don't have it now. Watch how I pull out pain from this. Watch this. He says, I want it to match. Immediately, okay, it doesn't match? Tell me about that.
It's just I want to match that type of, that type of aesthetic with this type of income. You know what I mean?
It doesn't match now. There's like an incongruence, you would say?
Not massive. I wouldn't say like.
I love it. Husham's really making me work. It doesn't match now. There's an incongruence. And then he says, not massive. I didn't ask that. I didn't ask the size of the incongruence, the size of it not matching. I just said, does it not match? That's it. It's not a matter of degree. It's a matter of does it match or does it not? And would you like it to match? If it doesn't match, how does that feel knowing it's not matching? Why are you adding a degree of badness to it? It's just either yes, I'm there, or I'm not where I want to be. Right? That's my premise. That's my frame. Oh, I love this stuff so much. I love communication, man. I love influence. It's so much fun. So much fun.
With this type of income. You know what I mean?
It doesn't match now. There's like an incongruence, you would say?
Not massive. I wouldn't say like massive.
Well, I'm not
when
talking about the degree, but if it's just misaligned, like a car, if the steering wheel isn't aligned properly with like the I forgot the term with the wheels and the way that they're set up, the drivetrain, the chassis, that's what it's called actually. I forgot the term with the wheels and the way that they're set up on the grid, they're gonna have big problems. It doesn't need to be massively misaligned.
I would say so. Okay. Like in it's
what
not
way do you feel
aligned.
what I did was because I was not letting him win that frame, and what I'm doing here is I'm suppressing all the unhelpful frames he tries to create. Like it's not so bad, right? So what I did is I used an analogy really quick. I pulled that out of nowhere, just about because I'm buying a new car, so I'm looking at cars now. So I'm like the drivetrain. If it's misaligned with the chassis, I didn't say chassis, which is an analogy. It doesn't need to be misaligned a lot. If it's misaligned, that is not good. Like the car is faulty. So back to you. An analogy is really helpful to take an outside perspective that could be helpful to a close to a sale and combine those perspectives together, right? Like, so you have an outside perspective and you bring that perspective that's still related to the one you want the prospect to believe and you want them to align with, combine them together. Okay. That's what I was doing there. Let's play ball.
That type of aesthetic with this type of income. You know what I mean?
It doesn't match now. There's like an incongruence, you would say?
Not massive. I wouldn't say like massive.
Well, I'm not
when
talking about the degree, but if it's just misaligned, like a car, if the steering wheel isn't aligned properly with like the I forgot the term with the wheels and the way that they're set up on the grid, they're gonna have big problems. It doesn't need to be massively misaligned.
I would say so. Okay.
Okay.
Like
in
it's
what
not
way do you
aligned.
feel the misalignment?
In what way? I guess just purely looks. It's just the aesthetic, the looks, how I fit into clothes sometimes. You know,
Okay,
like I
okay.
fit nicely into clothes, but not all clothes. You know, sometimes when I go out with
What kind of clothes don't you fit nicely into? Do you see? This is how you get problems. You see how I just what are the clothes you don't fit nicely into? I just stack onto it. He gave me clothes don't fit nicely. What kind of clothes don't you fit nicely into?
I fit into clothes sometimes. You know,
Okay,
like I
okay.
fit nicely into clothes, but not all clothes. You know, sometimes when I go out with
What kind of clothes don't you fit nicely into? I don't want to cheat it. By the way, a lot of sales reps who have been learning, you've been learning, maybe you're new, you're trying to make more money. Don't jump into what would that feel like. Don't do that. What does that feel like? What does it feel like not being able to? It's too fast. Build out more context and data around the state. Make it more clear. Build out more context first. What does it look like? When is it happening? How is it happening? What is like all that? Then go into what does that feel like to you personally? Because feeling, once you trigger feeling, boom, you're in emotion. That's a big ask from a prospect. Going into emotion, what does it feel like? What does it feel like? Everyone's always like, feel. Like I like feeling. I talk feeling on sales. I do, but I really pick my spots like a sniper. Okay, now let's get it. Boom. I know I'm going to get something good from you with the feeling. All right. But I build out my profile and context of pain first.
aesthetic, the looks, how I fit into clothes sometimes. You know,
Okay,
like I
okay.
fit nicely into clothes, but not all clothes. You know, sometimes when I go out with
What kind of clothes don't you fit nicely into?
like the color shirts, the white shirts that we wear, you know, the professional suits and all of that stuff,
Okay.
because we have to wear that.
Oh,
all
like
the
when
time.
it's time for actually to appear very high status.
Exactly right.
Oh. All right. So now that's me pulling a fast one. So he talks about clothing. I actually don't like us selling him on fitting in clothes because that's a very low level problem. It's not high. You could pay a tailor to tailor your clothes and make them look better or whatever. I don't. There's so many ways to fix that besides losing weight. Losing weight would be the best one. But if we're just going weight loss, like I want to lose 5, 10 kgs, his desire is not enough. But what do I do here? I pull a fast one, like a little magic trick, some sleight of hand, and I anchor the clothing onto status. So he says these clothes, suits, whatever. Oh, and it's time to be high status. Now the status affects who he is as a professional at his job. You see? You see how now we've increased the value of the offer and increased probably the level of desire by definition, because now we're moving away from clothing to actually status as a man, as a professional, as a high earner in sales.
Like the color shirts, the white shirts that we wear,
Yeah.
the professional suits and all of that stuff,
Okay.
because we have to wear that
Oh,
all
like
the
when
time.
it's time for actually to appear very high status.
Exactly right.
Okay, and
Exactly
you're not
right.
like
So
you're
like,
not at a 10 out of 10 right now at having to put those on and being
no, I
just from
wouldn't.
an
No,
aesthetic standpoint.
no, 10.
One other thing that I do is I know that I'm not going to get him to complain and say how he's not happy, because I don't think he is not happy. I don't think this guy's miserable coming in. I think he's probably quite content. I don't know what his personal life would be, but I don't think that we're solving a problem for him like someone who hates their job and wants to escape, right? Or someone whose business is burning to the ground. So what do I do here? Look what I do. I go, you're not at a 10, because I know what matters to this kind of prospect is performing well, especially if he's in sales and makes money. It's going to be performance. It's going to be winning. It's going to be success at a high level, right? So what I do is I say, you're not at a 10 out of 10 now, because the moment he concedes to me he's not at a 10 out of 10, boom, we have a gap. But instead of me saying you're not happy, I just go, you're not perfect. And then he says, no, I'm not perfect. Now, okay, then what are you? I'm an 8, a 7, a 6. We wouldn't say a 9. It wouldn't make sense. 8, 7, anything there. I can say, why is there a gap for a person like you who has this kind of standard, this kind of expectation? You hold the bar high for yourself. Do you? Yes, you would say yes. Why isn't there this gap? Or what's causing the gap? Or how can we close the gap? All right, now we have more problem, frustration, pain, all that built out. It's beautiful to see. It's time for actually to appear very high. It's like a good pasta. It's delicious. It's amazing. It's amazing. For actually to appear very high status.
Exactly right.
Okay,
Exactly
and you're not
right.
you're not at a 10 out of 10 right now at having to put those on and being
No, I
just from
wouldn't.
an
No,
aesthetic standpoint.
no, 10 out of 10. I wouldn't say 10 out of 10.
Okay,
I'd say like maybe
yeah.
7 out of 10, but 10 out of 10,
Mhm.
no, it wouldn't be 10 out of 10.
Mhm.
So like I get into a lot of meetings. I meet a lot of executives, high level people, millionaires,
Mhm.
billionaires sometimes.
Mhm.
So, and being in this
Image is
industry, I know.
important. Image is important in those environments.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I agree.
It's super
I agree. So
important.
it's me meeting with these high level executives.
Yeah.
They care about image. They care about image.
Yeah.
They care about how you carry yourself and whatnot. I just want
Yeah.
everything to be.
Would you
Yeah.
say we get two kinds of guys, man. We get people who look at John and Chris's stuff and they're very attracted to the whole lifestyle. Okay, so he finally has given me a really, really nice anchor here of like where the frustration is, where it's showing up, what the context is. I didn't say what does that feel like in those moments. I could have gone there, and maybe I don't know if I will do. I don't remember what I'm going to do here. I think I give him a crossroads to really cement him into a buying frame here. But let's see. Cool. I'm enjoying this. This is good job, past Tim. You ran this call very well.
Me meeting with these high level executives.
Yeah.
They care about image. They care about image.
Yeah.
They care about how you carry yourself and whatnot. I just want everything to be.
Would you say we get two kinds of guys, man. We get people who look at John and Chris's stuff and they're very attracted to the whole lifestyle. I know they show the cars and they're in South Africa, they're in Bali, whatever, traveling, and that attracts them. But also we have another group of guys, more like guys that are professionals and high earners who are who are not. The lifestyle is cool, but that's not what attracts them. It's more so the like the standard of excellence that John and Chris set for themselves and all the members in the tribe. Like be a 10 out of 10 in every area of your life, or you're as much as we can, or else we're slacking. Which side do you resonate with, like the standard that they said, or is it more like flashy? Cooked. So what I do here is, because previously, think of the architecture of the call. Remember foundations, and look at how strongly I'm building the foundations of this call. The foundations of the call were originally, he started with, I kind of want to see what you guys do, kind of want to lose some weight. So now what we've done is we've transitioned that into exposing where he feels the problem, pain the most, the lack the most, which is high status environments at work as a professional who earns a bunch of money. You see how I got there. Now what I'm doing is, because I really need to anchor into that. I am not good where I am now. I'm not good enough where I am. In order for me to get him to anchor to that, we already got the 10. I'm a 7 now. But I really, really want him to concede it almost like remember earlier with Gianluca's call, how Gianluca built out. He did do a good job of building out originally the desire for 5-figure months, but then he didn't stamp it in the ground and solidify that buying frame, like screw it in, like boom, it's there, anchored in. He didn't do it. Nick was like, yeah, no, I definitely do want to, definitely. And Gianluca was like, cool. And remember how it looked like I was going to not do that earlier here? If you remember, go back and watch. I said, "Ooh, I'm surprised I'm not pushing harder on this one thing or anchoring it." But now I am. I didn't forget about it because I'm parking these things in my head as I'm selling live. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cement this really strong frame of what kind of man are you? What do you resonate with our content? And I just made this stuff up. There is no real content because it's a role play. But I have friends that are running fitness programs like this and stuff, like in the digital space that have programs. So I kind of got the idea of how I would play this. So what I did was I gave him 2 crossroads. I said, "Are you the person who's attracted to the flashy, corny lifestyle?" And I purposely know he's not going to say that. So I genuinely know the way I'm wording it sounds bad. I was like the Lamborghinis in South Africa, and like traveling, Bali, all like the fun stuff. You see the way I'm wording it? Like, no, don't give me that one. I know that's not you. So it sounds like I'm asking a transparent question for him to say yes or no or pick a side, but I'm not. I'm doing a force. Yeah, this is a really cool concept in influence and like persuasion strategy. You can use it very ethically, by the way, because if we close this guy, he's going to change his life. But it's real diabolical. It's some good shit. And then the other side is he's already given me the other side. He's already told me I want to be a 10 out of 10. He said that, right? But now I'm re-asking it in a way. I'm sneaking it in to make it his idea. Who are you? And I'm asking it open-ended, but if you look at what I'm doing in the subtext, I'm not asking it open-ended. So it wouldn't make sense for him to pick the other side. And this is not even like a trick. If someone did this to me, it would work because it's just a conversation, but it has rules, right? And he's happy to play ball because I'm actually doing this to help him. It's in completely good faith. So let's listen to how I ask it again. Would you say we get 2 kinds of guys, man. We get people who look at John and Chris's stuff and watch how the first side I make it actually sound bad. It sounds good on the text, but in the subtext, if you don't know the difference between text and subtext, either join protocols or watch a whole bunch more of my content, a lot of it, and you'll figure out what that means because I talk about text and subtext in my trainings. Okay, it's one of the most diabolical conversation tactics you could have. I learned it from my first mentor in leadership communication and back when I was a nightclub promoter and I was helping like guys go out and connect with really attractive, cool people and stuff and network and like, stuff like that. I learned it from my first mentor, actually. He's an underground guy that made a whole bunch of money and has done really cool stuff. I learned from him and changed my life. So look at how I do it here. We get 2 kinds of guys, man. We get people who look at John and Chris's stuff and they're very attracted to the whole lifestyle. I know they show the cars and they're in South Africa, they're in Bali, whatever, traveling, and that attracts them. So the hand motion, the tonality made that low value. What I said sounded cool. Cars, lifestyle, Bali, traveling. But really, I actually dismissed it in my tone. I was like, that's stupid. It's very subtle, but I did that. It wouldn't make sense for him to then say, I want that thing you just said. Show the cars and they're in South Africa, they're in Bali, whatever, traveling, and that attracts them. But also we have another group of guys, more like guys that are professionals and high earners who are who are not, the lifestyle is cool, but that's not what attracts them. It's more so the like the standard of excellence that John and Chris set for themselves and also the members in the tribe. Like be a 10 out of 10 in every area of your life, or you're as much as we can, or else we're slacking. Which side do you resonate with, like the standard that they said, or is it more the flashy?
The second bucket, which is the one that's like the high status, all of that. I forgot what you mentioned exactly, but
the expectation of excellence, right? As they
exactly
would call it, the expectation of excellence. How does it feel for you right now, being a professional who's doing a lot of great stuff, and then being at just like 3 points off of the mark of where you can be in it? And I went feeling. I knew I would do it because I wouldn't have forgotten, but now I go feeling. That's what it was. So what I did is I really cemented him to who do you want to be, what do you desire, and then I go, how does it feel not being there? Right. I'm happy I didn't do it early because I don't feel like the frame was built strong enough. Now it is super strong because I said, categorize yourself. There's just 2 kinds of guys. Who do you want to be? He said second one. Cool. It's real. I believe it now. We built him up to the identity. How does it feel not being in that position? How does it feel for you right now, being a professional who's doing a lot of great stuff, and then being at just like 3 points off of the mark of where you can be? And to me, in my mind, for men like us, 3 points is a lot. What is that? I just killed that. I didn't even want to let him say it's not that bad. I was like, I'm just not even going to take a chance that he can say that. The mark of where you can be. And to me, in my mind, for men like us, 3 points is a lot. What does that feel like to you as a professional, as just a man in your position?
I feel like I could do more.
Okay.
I don't know if that's it's just, I don't know how I would describe that type of feeling, but I feel
Yeah.
like I could be doing a lot more in my
How would you? I could ask him more, meaning like what? When you say more, what do you mean by more? I could do that, or I could challenge the idea of. No, I don't know what else I could do besides. What do you mean by more? Maybe there's something else, but that's what I think right
would
now.
describe that type of feeling, but I feel
Yeah.
like I could be doing a lot more in my
How would you
just
boil that
personal
down into a
journey.
word? Like knowing you could do more, and right now you aren't. Just with fitness overall. I think because I was running out of time, not running about, but I had a timer on. I set like gave Gianluca 30 minutes, gave myself 30 minutes to run Discovery. So I think that's probably why I move on to, let's assign more feeling to that image and aesthetic. What's the word we'd use there?
Ah, dude, I can't even think. It would be I want to say frustration because it's a very strong word. I want to say I'm frustrated with the
Why not
way.
use a strong word? Let's take ownership of it. Why not? Are you not frustrated? I feel like you have to be
Sometimes,
on the call.
like I wouldn't,
Yeah.
you know, what I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful from like what I've have and what I built
Sure.
in
This
my own
is not
journey.
a gratitude call, brother. This is not a this is a sales call where we talk about problems.
Yeah,
Sales
I
call.
get you.
On a sales call, you're the prospect. You're supposed to complain. You know.
Yeah,
A little
That
bit.
makes
So
sense,
so
yeah.
okay. So feeling frustrated. That's interesting. So I'm kind of cheating because he says he works in tech sales. So I'm like, I'll just speak to him, sales guy to a sales guy. It doesn't matter what his job or careers. I could do this with other careers too, or I could do this with other positions in life that he's in. But yeah, that's what I do.
Ungrateful from like what I've have and what I built
Sure.
in my own
Because
journey.
what's happening is, and Husham's playing this quite well. He's having a disruption in his nervous system. He's told and programmed himself, I should always seem like I have everything together, don't want much. I'm always confident, I'm always put together, I'm always the shit. So Husham's acting very, very well right now. And what I'm doing is I'm encouraging him to lean into the side of himself that is uncomfortable, that does want more, that is like, I'm not going to settle for where I'm at right now.
Sound ungrateful from like what I've have and what I built
Sure.
in
This
my own
is
journey.
not a gratitude call, brother. This is not a this is a sales call where we talk about problems.
Yeah,
Sales
I
call.
get you.
On a sales call, you're the prospect. You're supposed to complain. You know.
Yeah,
A little
That
bit.
makes
So
sense,
so
yeah.
okay. So feeling frustrated. I gotcha. And it's been 5 years for this.
Like of the frustration.
The
What do you mean?
noticeable, not beyond the frustration, just the noticeable drop off from where you were before, like peak condition aesthetic, to
Yeah.
now where you put like on a shirt and go in a high status environment and you don't feel great. It's been a 5 year.
I would say 3 years. 3 years.
3
It wasn't
years.
immediate. It wasn't immediate.
Okay.
Because I still maintain that level of fitness and just working out and whatnot.
Yep,
But you know,
yep.
I'm sure in your company, like more work, more stuff happens in life, and I just focus
Yeah.
more on the career. if that
But the
makes
thing,
sense.
okay, so here we go. Here's another big moment of this call. He's outsourcing the responsibility of why he hasn't achieved success to the company. He's about to say, and I know this is going to happen now, but also you can hear him beginning to say it, and I catch it immediately. The moment he says it, I catch it and do not let it go. He says, you know how work is family, or not, he doesn't say family, excuse me, he's work responsibility. You know how it is. The moment he says that, I smack it back and I'm like, nope, we're just not going to do that. Because if he outsources, the reason I don't achieve success is because of work and things like that. We as a company, guys, here's a big thing. Stick with me, guys. If you're here, it's probably, I don't know, we get like 200 to 1,000, maybe sometimes more views a video, which means that statistically, there's probably 50 of you here right now still watching this. And if you are, then that means you take this really seriously. And I want to respect that commitment to you being here with me and give you some really good sauce, stuff that I really only give to my one-on-one clients or our clients and protocols and our training program. So look, I'm going to give you something really good. The reason why I'm telling you and talking about frames so much, and what I'm going over on YouTube is a bit more advanced than I would normally teach here. But the reason I'm going over frame, and telling you how I'm catching things, it's not because of some ego-driven, oh, it's just fun. 2 reasons. Number 1, it affects your bank account. Like if your ability to sell well, if you're selling anything, even if you're, by the way, just a content creator who has an offer, your coach who has an offer, or sales rep, full-time selling, like fully, even if you're a business owner, you're still full-time selling, but it's a bit different. This matters because your ability to execute what I'm executing right here on live calls consistently, and I have many examples of me doing this on live calls here on the channel and in our sales training program. So you can watch live calls, okay? But these are really good examples, and so I wanted to use them here. Most of the ones I use are live calls, actually. But look, if you want to make money, you have to do it all correctly. You have to do it as correctly as possible. So the reason I'm going in depth with you is because of that. I want you to make money. Second reason, it's because calls follow rules. Like conversation and communication follow specific rules. So when I say, I'm catching a frame there, it's not like some ego-driven thing, because it could sound that way of, oh, it's cool, I'm catching him, I'm shutting him down. Some people think of it that way, and I really hate it. Some people think of sales like, oh, got you, I got him. It's not that. There is zero got you, there's zero I win, none of that. It's this man is coming to the call with a problem. He's in a state in his life where he's not at an ideal self. I know that my company has tools that can get him there. So the way that I communicate with him is either going to be helpful or it's going to be unhelpful for him achieving those outcomes. I want to operate in the binary, the crossroads, the side of helpful. That's what it is. So when I tell you, look at how I did this, I got back into feeling and all these things. I enjoy it because I love the game. I love the process, the way I would love any sport, right? I love that. But it's not from a place of, oh, dude, like cool winning. I shut the prospect down. Look at how, as I see a lot of these guys who teach sales, they have this on Instagram. It's like, closer 40,000 a month, closer handles this kind of prospect. And I get it's marketing, it's social media. You have to make stuff that attracts views. That's probably why I don't have more views, because I just hate playing that game. That I hate it. I like the frameworks of the things, the psychology, the systems behind them, without the flash, without the sexiness. That's what I like. But I'm telling you, that's why I'm going this deep with you guys. So watch this. Look, this is really important. What's about to happen? Like peak condition aesthetic to now where you put like on a shirt and go in a high status environment, you don't feel great. It's been a 5-year.
I would say 3 years. 3 years. It wasn't immediate. Okay. Because I still maintain that level of fitness and just working out and whatnot. Yep. But you know, I'm showing your company like more work, more stuff. Okay, so now here's the moment where I have to reframe and catch it. So look, he says more work, more stuff, and I can hear in his language he's about to go and outsource responsibility to. He says, "I'm sure you know." That's another sign. I'm sure you know how it is. All right, I can't let that happen, because if he outsources the responsibility, this is what I was going to say earlier, but I didn't say it because I got passionate on, you know, how this works, the actual mechanics of this. So look, if he outsources responsibility to his company or to the work or to the personal life or anything else outside of the way he's doing things in himself, then that means that he's going to anchor us into a frame of something our company can't fix, right? Think of that. It's not because I don't want him to avoid responsibility from a moral standpoint. I don't care if he wants to do that. If he was just my friend, maybe I'd freaking agree with him and be like, yeah, bro, life is hard. But for a sales standpoint, I cannot have this prospect tell me and anchor into a belief of my company or my time that I have available or my lifestyle is what makes it hard for me. Because if I want to close him, we need to be able to fix whatever the problem is. Do you see how simple it is? It's very simple. It's not this cool thing. It's we as a company have to be able to fix whatever his problem is. So if he creates a frame that the problem is something we can't fix, which is time, which is the way the company works, which is busy life, we cannot fix any of that. So I have to smash that frame and find something else and get him to say, no, it's not that. It's something else that he can take responsibility over. I personally don't give two shits whether he takes responsibility or not, personally. I just have to close him. You see how the mechanics come out in sales? It's like, it really is like a game. It's like a sport that follows rules. All right? Watch how this unfolds in real time. And whatnot. Yeah. And just working out and whatnot. But you know, I'm showing your company like more work, more stuff happens in life, and I just focus more on the career. But the thing, here's what's interesting about it. So I agreed first. I was like, yeah, to disarm him. The moment I heard that, sure as it happens, I was like, I don't agree with you. But yeah, and then watch the challenge. More stuff happens in life, and I just focus more on the career. But the thing, here's what's interesting about our company, bro. Chris doesn't actually let us slack off physically. So I refuse to let him use our company and the way things are with us as an excuse. I will not let it happen. So then I believe what I should do is put it back on him. What's missing? I don't know if I'll get there immediately, but I will get there at some point. Because by the way, we don't have yet in discovery what's the problem we're trying to fix. We don't have that yet. I haven't gotten the what's holding you back. And I think I directly asked him that in this call, because if we know what's holding him back, that's what he's going to pay us to solve for him, right? And I don't have that yet. Focus more on the career. But the thing, here's what's interesting about our company, bro. Chris doesn't actually let us slack off physically, right? Like, I know I'm not the biggest guy, but I'm in very good shape. And it's the same thing for everyone on our sales team, that we have, all of our executives, all the coaches that if you work with us, you're going to work with them. One of our guys inside, Kyle, great dude. He's like, he'll potentially be your advisor. He's always about, dude, if you're in sales, we get a lot of founders that work in tech and are doing, they're doing multi-7-figure exits and stuff. And these guys, we prioritize. Look how hard I'm giving him a case study too. This is a thing we teach in protocols to our advanced students. I'm giving him a case study to make the idea more visceral and more real. Look at this. He'll potentially be your advisor. He's
always about, dude, if you're in sales, if you get a lot of founders that work in tech,
Mhm.
a lot of founders, they're doing multi-set because I know he's a prospect who makes money. So I'm going to use someone who makes even more than him to make sure he cannot avoid this expectation, this standard I'm setting. I've killed his entire frame now. I'm building out a whole profile to kill his frame. Your advisor, he's always about, dude, if you're in sales, if you get a lot of founders that work in tech and are doing they're doing multi-7-figure exits and stuff. And these guys, we prioritize when you're going through the busiest season of your life. That's when you need to maintain like the aesthetic, the fitness, the expectation for yourself as a man, as an individual.
Yeah,
So,
okay, that makes sense. I wish
I
I
get
wish
the
we had that
busyness, but
stuff.
that's not gonna.
I wish we had that stuff in our own company, but they're very money driven, which is
So now what he does is he degrades it. First he said, you know what I mean, you know how it is. Then he goes, okay, maybe that's your specific situation. Good job, Husham, not letting me just win this easily. Great stuff. And then he degrades it and sticks to it again. And he goes, well, in my company, they're money driven and it works differently. Look what I do again, how I kill that frame again.
I wish
I get
wish
the
we had that
busyness, but
stuff.
that's not gonna.
I wish we had that stuff in our own company, but they're very money driven, which is hence why I'm
You could be
I'm
both.
with them because we'll make as much money. Yeah.
But why do you feel like the money has to come at the expense of the health, or vice versa? Do you feel that?
At the expense?
Yeah, meaning you said they're money driven. Do you feel like you can't be aesthetic, fitness, confidence oriented, and also money driven? Oh, kill him again. Kill the frame again. I'm like, I'm not going to let him get away with that. So I asked him a negatively framed question. Do you think you cannot do both? Why could you not? Because I wanted to make some kind of excuse in something and then just say, I just haven't prioritized it. Because then I can go, why have you not? We'll solve that for you. We'll give you what you need to prioritize it, right?
At the expense?
Yeah, meaning you said they're money driven. Do you feel like you can't be aesthetic, fitness, confidence oriented, and also money driven?
Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can.
Okay.
Like I did it in the first 1 or 2 years. You know what I mean? It's not like I didn't do it and I didn't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you? Can I ask you something, bro? What do you feel is holding you back from just? There we go. So now he kind of conceded. You can hear how he gives up on it. He's like, okay, I can't hide. Really, I can't hide behind the company. I can't hide behind money because every single one I'm calling him out on why it can be done. Right, and now I expose what's really holding you back. That's what he's going to pay us to solve for him. Also money driven.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. Like I did it in the first 1 or 2 years. You know what I mean? It's not like I didn't do it and I didn't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you? Can I ask you something, bro? What do you feel is holding you back from just taking charge of like the confidence and getting back to where you once were right now? What's stopping you from doing that?
The time, man. Like genuinely, it is the time because I used to.
Okay, so now what's happened is he's giving me. I don't know if he's being honest or not. Now I have to listen to him. He says the time. That's a tough one. Because if he's like, I genuinely don't have time at all, I have to. Then I wouldn't pitch him because I'd say you can't use our stuff because you have to make some time. But if he's saying I haven't made the time, that's a lot different. Watch how I separate those two things here. Okay, what's stopping you from doing that?
The time, man. Like genuinely, it is the time because I used to do it very easily. It's not a problem losing weight and gaining weight like a year to 2 years into the job. And then it started to pile up. It started to become a lot more hectic in terms of time commitments.
Is it still that
expectations? Not as much because I'm more established. I know what I'm doing in my job.
Okay.
You know.
So he made it a little easier for me. I said, is it still that exact way now? Because again, I know pathways where he's going to go. Either it is that way now, and if it is that way, then the question is, are you willing to make the time? Or he'll say it is not that way now. Then I could go, why have you not found the time then now? What's holding you back now? Because you have more time, right? And we end up in the same place. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but that's what's in my head here.
Not as much because I'm more established. I know what I'm doing in my job.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But it's still very demanding. It's very demanding. I'm still working long hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sneak in at a Subway here and there. Sometimes a KFC on the way. It's so tired. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very tired.
So there we go. He's tired, exhausted. It's not easy, and he has poor eating habits. He gave me a lot of info, which is really good, and I earned that. I pushed, and I got that out of him, so that's great.
I know what I'm doing in my job.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But it's still very demanding. It's very demanding. I'm still working long hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sneak in at a Subway here and there. Sometimes a KFC on the way. It's so tired. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very tired. You have to go back, repeat the same thing again tomorrow. That's when the decline, I would say, started.
So is what you're saying that as the workload increased and as the responsibilities and then the cash increased, that your own personal ritual decreased, is what you're saying?
Yes. So as the more commitment, the more stuff that I had to do with my job.
Yeah.
The more that I found myself going away from focusing on my fitness and my health.
But so you mentioned to me that things have calmed down a bit.
Yes.
Why are you not taking charge of fitness now? What's holding you back now? Okay. So I end up going to the thing I said, right? I don't allow the the things he said to get in the way of my original question still, which is why are you not having success now? Still there. Because I hear a man who is just not taking action the way he needs to and could probably do it if he had a gun to his head. Some things you couldn't do if you had a gun to your head, right? Like if let's say you're making 3-4K a month and someone put a gun to your head and said you need to make 100K a month within 2 months, I statistically bet you could not do that. Most people would die. Trigger would be pulled, right? I hope that YouTube doesn't censor this or kill me for saying that. But like, you would be cooked. Same thing here, right? Well, excuse me, not same thing here. He's telling me how it's difficult, but difficult doesn't mean it can't be done. I'm good with it being difficult, but I still want to know why he's not doing it. What's preventing him from actually doing it? But so you mentioned to me that things have calmed down a bit.
Yes.
Why are you not taking charge of fitness now? What's holding you back now?
That's a great question. I feel like I want to lose the weight faster, if that makes sense. And if I feel like if I'm doing it by myself, I would get there, but I would rather just get someone else to help me, if that makes sense.
Okay, here we go. Now it's more complex. And when I did this, it felt so easy to me. But now that I watch it back, I'm like, damn, Husham actually pushed me here. It didn't feel difficult at all. But now that I'm watching it back, I'm like, oh, there was a lot of things going on under the surface. So now this is a new frame. It's a frame, and I don't know where I'm going to go. I know what in real time. I'm just processing this as I'm running the call, like when I was doing it live. But now I get some time to think and examine the mechanics of what's happening. So now he establishes a frame of, he kind of moved away from the time thing, and now he's like, I would prefer to get there faster. We're getting somewhere. I'm happy, but that still doesn't explain to me why he needs us. Like, I get it now. You want us to get there faster, but why do you feel like you wouldn't get there fast enough on your own, type of thing? Let's see what I do here, but that presents another group of problems now. Because now he's going, this is a convenience. I would rather just get there faster, but I want him to be beyond convenience. I want him to be need. Do you need to get there faster, though? Because that doesn't justify spending tons of money.
That's a great question. I feel like I want to lose the weight.
And Husham knows good sales. He's very good. He makes 20-25K a month consistently. And what we're doing is basically like sales chess right now. And I didn't even realize in real time. I knew it in real time, obviously, of course, that we were doing this, but my brain wasn't thinking, oh, this is difficult. It was just, let's just execute. And it's very cool to see it after the fact. I love communication. I love sales. I love influence. I love power dynamics, influence dynamics, frame dynamics, all that stuff, and some really cool stuff and build some really cool training and building out in the future for a new. Probably shouldn't share so much about this, but a new project we're building that's very, very cool. That will be released very soon, and I think many of you will be happy we have this. Why are you not taking charge of fitness now? What's holding you back now?
That's a great question. I feel like I want to lose the weight faster, if that makes sense. And if I feel like if I'm doing it by myself, I would get there, but I would rather just get someone else to help me, if that makes sense.
Why would you rather get someone else to help you? Better. So that's good. So I jump into the rather, because rather means I'd rather do this. Like I rather, or I could not, but I would prefer to. So why would you rather want to? Because then that's going to reveal need.
There, but I would rather just get someone else to help me, if that makes sense.
Why would you rather get someone else to help you? And I'm sorry, bro, for these questions. I know that it's like obvious shit, but to me, this is really, really important to understand what your mind is at, because then that influences the way I'm going to pitch you. So
of course,
so I just break the fourth wall and just qualify this because I'm really pushing him hard. And if he's a sales guy with some ego, which I had told him to play like he has an ego, and by this point, I think he had abandoned a lot of that ego, but I still wanted him to keep that up. So I just pretended for training our reps, our clients who are watching this right now. They were actually in the session with us. I was just like, let me pretend he has more ego, and this is what I would do to get away with this question. Obvious shit, but to me, this is really, really important to understand what your mind is at, because then that influences the way I'm going to pitch you. So
of course,
I'm asking you what's the reason to part with your finances and like say, dude, fuck it, let's like invest in training and coaching and mentorship. What are we as a company trying to solve for you instead of you just keeping on your own figuring it out?
Yeah. Well, when I say I was doing good results and all that stuff a year or 2 years, it was almost just like a wing it type of strategy. You know what I mean? Just seeing a couple of stuff that I worked in college and all of that from my older coach in soccer.
From the sports days.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So he used to give us a lot of workouts and whatnot. Yes, but it used to fluctuate. It used to gain weight. It used to lose weight. It wasn't as consistent as I would like it to be. and I've seen you guys' stuff, and I know how John and how legit he is and all of that stuff. So I was like, if there's a better time or better thing to do when it comes to my fitness, is these guys that I would trust.
What
just taking charge.
I love the faith you have in us, dude. When you say a better thing, what are those aspects of the fitness journey that would be counted as like the better things for you? I'm not saying you have every answer, but okay, diet.
It would be diet, but again, it's like I know what I'm supposed to eat, but then I don't eat it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'm just not tracking.
Is it actually the diet, or is it creating the ritual behind the diet? Like, is it the diet? Like, I could tell you, dude, I'm telling you right now, we can get off this call and I could spend the next 10 minutes here and just tell you don't eat. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. I just want to explore some of it and count it as like the better things for you. I'm not saying you have every answer, but okay, diet.
It would be.
So I niche down into what's the problem we're actually solving, because if you don't have an actual problem that we're going to fix, you can't. It's hard to sell. You don't have a lot of leverage to command the sale.
Would be diet, but again, it's like I know what I'm supposed to eat, but then I don't eat it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'm just not tracking.
Is it actually the diet, or is it creating the ritual behind the diet? So when he said, I know what I'm supposed to eat, that killed, again, or made it more difficult for me to go, you need us to solve this for you. Because he says, I know what I need to eat. And if he knows what he needs to eat, then how do we help you? Because you know what to do already. Yeah, that's a problem. So what do I do here? I kill that by moving the goalposts and saying, so is it the diet itself, or is it the ritual and accountability behind that?
To eat, but then I don't eat it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'm just not tracking.
Is it actually the diet, or is it creating the ritual behind the diet? Like, is it the diet? Like, I could tell you, dude, I'm telling you right now, we can get off this call and I could spend the next 10 minutes here and just tell you don't eat KFC and don't grab pizza, don't grab a Subway. Replace that with chicken and rice. You see enough TikToks, I'm sure, on fitness to know this is the thing you eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the information, in my opinion, and I'm not delusional or so arrogant to think that, oh my God, the information that Chris and John provides is so special that you can't find that information elsewhere. But there's one thing beyond information that you won't find elsewhere. Do you know what it is?
Well,
the accountability. It's like accountability and the ritual the system's building. That's what it is. Like, customized to your lifestyle, what you need. I'm not even going to break this down. That's just really good scripting. That's really good language to build out more context and more profile, more leverage, we'll call it, around the actions or the commitment of what kind of help he needs from us, what kind of problems he needs solved. And I really need him to say, I need accountability, I need system from you guys. Because if he just says, I need to know what to eat and what not to eat, I'm cooked. I can't sell him on that, because he can get that from TikTok. He can get that from YouTube or PDF, right? But what's the difference between that and paying a high ticket service? It's the hands-on help. That information elsewhere. But there's one thing beyond information that you won't find elsewhere. Do you know what it is?
Well,
it's the accountability. It's the accountability and the ritual the system's building. That's what it is. Like, customized to your lifestyle, what you need.
But that's what I need, man. That's what I feel like I need. I need that accountability, because, working in tech sales, pushing 8-10-hour shifts here and there, and having these tough conversations every single day, it fries my mind. And I just want something just there for me that just tells me exactly, like, hey, just do this. It's right there. That's what I feel like I need.
Why do you feel you need that now? What happened? Okay, so now we've gotten clear problem, we've got clear desire, all that's good. Now I need to get urgency, pug framework, urgency, and I need gaps. So I have how much left? I have 12 minutes left, which is more than enough for all of that. So I'm going to get what's a clear driver behind him doing this now versus putting it off till later, which is a nice frame for buying. Why now? And then I need a gap, which is, what does it look like when you succeed versus what does it look like when you fail, future versus now? Positive gap, negative gap, upside, downside.
What I feel like I need.
Why do you feel you need that now? What happened? What happened in your own mind or your own life, or what? I don't know your story, bro, but like, what's the kind of the trigger behind you saying right now in this moment, I need to plug in accountability, I need to plug in systems, and to plug in ritual, and like invest in that now versus 6 months from now, a year from now? Like, why now? What's the reason?
I guess it's me just looking at a couple of. It's actually funny you say that. It was a couple of photos that I've seen with my with my wife and one of my kids, because I was just showing them photos when I was younger, playing in college. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was showing them photos, and I had some cousins and family, and I was showing them photos from when I was playing in college and all of that. And then I looked at my body, I was like, wow, this is what I used to be. It was very cool, very nice.
When did you have that moment? When did you look at the photos?
A month ago, I would say. A month ago when we had the.
So when you're looking for urgency, you always want one of three things. You want a specific moment, or you want some kind of opportunity cost, or you want some person, like a person who this is for, or a specific moment where it became important, or a specific cost. What if you do not succeed? What are you losing over XYZ period of time if you don't commit to it now? And what we get here is a specific moment. So he gives us that good stuff.
All of that. And then I looked at my body. I was like, wow, this is what I used to be. It was very cool, very
When
nice.
did you have that moment? When did you look at the photos?
A month ago, I would say. A month ago when we had this family gathering, we just had a lot of dinner. We just invited, my dad, my mom, her dad, her and her mom and some cousins and all that stuff. We all came to the house and we just looking through photos, old ones, and then you just see a couple of photos of me and lifting the trophy with getting the medal. It just looked nice. It just looked nice. So I think one of the comments, one of my cousins, like, well, like, oh, lift up your shirt. Let's see what you look like now.
Oh, they started messing with you for that.
Yeah, a little bit, Tim, and that kind of got me fired up a little bit because I didn't want to do that, and then I was like, wow, maybe that's a little bit of a because I'm a high achiever, my friend.
I love that.
I work very hard.
I'm happy that happened to you because it exposed that like 3-point gap we discussed. So what I'm doing is he gives me a good moment. I think in my mind here, I don't feel like it's enough. I think it's good, but I'm like, let me build on that and make that moment feel more real as a driver for him to take action now. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, a little bit, Tim, and that kind of got me fired up a little bit because I didn't want to do that, and then I was like, wow. Maybe that's a little bit of a because I'm a high achiever, my friend.
I love that.
I work very hard.
I'm happy that happened to you because it exposed that like 3-point gap we discussed. Remember, like you're operating at a 7 or showing up as a 7 in the most important moments of your career. You know you should be at a 10, which is the expectation, the standard you would set for yourself. That's interesting. That gap.
That was the thing, man. Yeah. After that conversation, I was like, okay, let me get back into fitness. Let me get back into that shape that I was. And that's when, funny enough, that's when your ad started to pop up. And I was like, the coincidence is crazy.
Well, I like the timing. I'll tell you something that concerns me. What's the time? Okay. The one little thing that concerns me, bro, is the time aspect of this because you mentioned like busy, which is great. We work with a lot of busy people. Aha! So that's what it was. This was giving me like an itch in the back of my mind. I think I didn't feel like he conceded the time aspect enough and being willing and wanting to make the time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back into it and force him to confront it and pick a side, build out an identity on, yes, I am going to commit the time. Or he could not, and then in that case, he wouldn't be a close. The timing. I'll tell you something that concerns me. What's the time? Okay. The one little thing that concerns me, bro, is the time aspect of this because you mentioned like busy, which is great. We work with a lot of busy people, but we can't help you if you're not willing to be the person who makes the time to make this work, which means 3 days a week, doing your physical movements, whatever those are. I can't tell you what they'll be, but they'll customize them for you. Getting uncomfortable with how you eat, which may take you an extra 30 minutes a day. Can you do that? Can you like be that person who's making the time, or do you not want to tell me where you're at? You notice how I don't say, can you make the time? I say, can you be that person? I say, can you make the time? But I say, can you be the person who's making the time? Because I want to sell him on the commitment of who he's going to choose to be, not just on the logistics of time versus not. We work with a lot of busy people, but we can't help you if you're not willing to be the person who makes the time to make this work, which means 3 days a week, doing your physical movements, whatever those are. I can't tell you what they'll be, but they'll customize them for you. Getting uncomfortable with how you eat, which may take you an extra 30 minutes a day. Can you do that? Can you like be that person who's making the time, or do you? Can you be that person? To be honest, I don't even know. Well, go ahead, bro. Just tell me your thoughts.
If at the end of the day, Tim, like you pitch me and you tell me it's 10 grand and I end up paying 10 grand for this, then I will make the fucking time. You know what I mean? If I'm going to pay.
Horrible answer. It was okay, but it was not horrible. But he says, if I pay, then I'm going to make the time. But I didn't ask that. I'm saying, regardless if you're paying or not, can you commit to being the person who makes the time? Why? Because the person who makes the time is going to pay. But I don't have the commitment for him to potentially pay if he doesn't concede first. He's willing to make the time before he pays. The time, or do you not think about that again? If you need to hear that replayed again, I want you to tell me where you're at there. To be honest, I don't even know. Well, go ahead, bro. Just tell me your thoughts.
If at the end of the day, Tim, like you pitch me and you tell me it's 10 grand and I end up paying 10 grand for this, then I will make the fucking time. You know what I mean? If I'm going to pay the 10 grand, you know what I'm saying?
It's not about you paying first because it starts with the commitment that I'm going to find the time first. So I don't want, and I respect you for saying that, bro. Like again, man to man, professional to professional, we're speaking the same language. What I care more about is if, regardless of what the investment is, maybe it's 2 grand, 1 grand. Like, who are you willing to show up as and be after this call finishes if we create a plan for you?
Yeah.
Are you going to show up and make the time? So what I do is I take it away from transactional and we just want you to pay. I refuse to let him let me in there. I refuse to let that happen. So I kill it again and I re-ask the question with the frame that I want. regardless of what the investment is, maybe it's $2,000, $1,000. Like, who are you willing to show up as and be after this call finishes if we create a plan for you?
Yeah.
Are you going to show up and make the time and be that guy who makes the time?
I want to, man. I want to make the time.
But is there a but?
Towards this. No, there isn't a but. There's a little bit of hesitation around like, what if I am busy? What if I'm busy? What if there's a period of me going really hard at work because they need 12 hours, 10 hours and all that? So how does that fit within
reason? Within reason, we'll work around it. We have, again, bro, we're a community of founders, entrepreneurs, and leaders who are all busy individuals. Everyone is. Yeah. But again, it's like intention. Am I going in with the intention when me and you have this conversation? Am I talking to a guy who's going to find time as a reason for why he can't? Or are you going to say, I'm going to rise above the time and I'm going to like step into 10 out of 10 self who makes the time to fucking do it all for yourself, for the people in your life? I don't even need to explain it. I'm going to let this play a little bit more towards the end. But you can see how I'm anchoring him into this frame and getting him to pick a path. I'm not letting him escape it. Who are all busy individuals. Everyone is. Yeah. But again, it's like intention. Am I going in with the intention when me and you have this conversation? Am I talking to a guy who's going to find time as a reason for why he can't? Or are you going to say, I'm going to rise above the time and I'm going to like step into 10 out of 10 self who makes the time to fucking do it all for yourself, for the people in your life and you at your professional career? You know, who are you prepared to be?
Yeah. You're very good at sales, my friend. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
I've been doing it for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. This is some of the tactics that I do as well with my clients.
You make people money. You make people money. I help people.
Yeah, exactly. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. No, of course, I'm going to make the time, my friend. I'm if like beside of the money and all of that stuff, there's a reason why I booked in the call. I'm not the type of person I was just booking the call for no reason. Yeah. I'm committed, man. I'm committed. I want to.
You're committed to being that guy. Good.
Of course, man. Of course, I've had so much success in my life. This is not going to stop me. You know what I mean?
Good. What if you just a quick aside? So this is interesting. I think I'm going to go like negative downside here, and I think I do. I make the transition really quickly.
It's not going to stop me. You know what I mean?
Good. I don't think it's going to stop me. What if you just a quick aside? If you stayed, because you're in a career right now that requires a lot of movement, a lot of motion. I know just like sales and stuff, especially your like tech sales, there's a lot of stuff going on. What if you continued showing up in those environments, in those spaces at the 7 out of 10? I didn't ask you this. This is important to me. What do you feel is your downside that we're sort of trying to prevent here over the next 2-3 years if you stay the way you are, or because of the busyness and because the eating even get worse? What do you feel is your downside as a professional?
It would be, to be honest with you, it wouldn't harm the job itself because I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it for a very long time. I think it's just more mentally.
The job itself is interesting. I don't mean your numbers, like what's coming into my bank account, my commission checks. I mean you as a professional and all that. So I asked him, what's the downside if you don't achieve success? And then he goes into job. He says he goes into numbers, and he again, battle of frames, like chess battle. He says, well, I don't think the job would be affected. What do I do? Immediately I pivot. I say, nope, don't answer that way. Let's do this instead. Continued showing up in those environments and watch how quickly I jump on bases after 7 out of 10. I didn't ask you this. This is important to me. What do you feel is your downside that we're sort of trying to prevent here over the next 2-3 years if you stay the way you are, or because of the busyness and because the eating even get worse? What do you feel is your downside as a professional?
It would be, to be honest with you, it wouldn't harm the job itself because I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it for a very long time. I think it's just more mentally.
The job itself is interesting. I don't mean your numbers, like what's coming into my bank account, my commission checks. I mean you as a professional and all that encompasses that. So like mentally it's a part of that. So mentally, what is that? Do you see how I just re-asked the question, but I use what he gave me? He said mentally. So I say, yeah, that's what I mean mentally. What would it be?
For a very long time. I think it's just more mentally.
The job itself is interesting. I don't mean your numbers, like what's coming into my bank account, my commission checks. I mean you as a professional and all that encompasses that. So like mentally it's a part of that. So mentally, what is that? The downside?
Like you mentioned earlier, the guys that you work with, the excellence, and the guys that just want to be a 10 out of 10 in everything. And this part of my life is not 10 out of 10. I feel like it would just nudge me a little bit. It just would not sit right with me just as a person. Because I always grew up just doing everything to the fullest potential, 10 out of 10 in everything. Like growing up in school, I was in the varsity team. I was a really great athlete. I had contracts. I wanted to play professional, but then I took the sales route, and even the sales, top performer, senior executive, all of that stuff, just it's always excellent. You know what I mean? So when I look at the fitness, and it's not where it needs to be, it does something. It does something in my mind.
How old are you? Now we get a really good answer. And what I do is I assign time to it as well. Watch how I do that.
It does something in my mind.
How old are you right now?
I am 27.
So let's say fast forward 2 years and you haven't closed that gap. You're making good money. Remember when John Luca did this and he did it really well? You use time to make pictures and answers better. Make pictures in the person's head, and thus you get a better answer. So I say 2-year gap. Let's talk about that. I could have gone longer. I could have said 5-year, but I just decided to go 2 years because he'd be going into his 30s. And that's a significant moment in a person's life.
And it's not where it needs to be. It does something. It does something in my mind.
How old are you right now?
I am 27.
So let's say fast forward 2 years and you haven't closed that gap, you making good money, but just mentally as a professional, you feel like you're not up to the standard. What would that feel like in your own opinion? Kind of falling short. We don't want this to happen, dude, but I want to know where you're
yeah,
at.
Yeah. I would say frustrated.
Yeah.
Not
So like
overly frustrated, but it's yes, exactly. But it's continuous frustration. Well, how would that look like exactly? And if it's more or less, I don't know. I can't tell you. But I would just describe it as.
Well, if you know that in this area of your life, brother, I'm going to push you on something, bro. If you know in this area of your life you want to operate as a 10, and you go extending another 2 to 3 years not operating at a 10, like you say, would it be more or less? Is it realistic to think that it would be less frustrating and somehow magically the frustration would just get better because you made more money?
No, okay,
or whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying this in any bad faith, bro, but just genuinely, I'm trying to have a real conversation with you about the future and just as a professional, as a dude who's making money, who's killing it where you'll be. I feel like if there's a big gap in the fitness and in the aesthetic and in the mindset, and you're aware of that gap and it continues, is that more or less frustrating?
It would be more. It would be more. It wouldn't be less. It would have made sense. Yeah.
Great job correcting him on that. He tried to qualify the frustration again, less frustrating. I didn't let him get away with it.
It would be more. It would be more. It wouldn't be less. It would have made sense. Yeah, logically it doesn't make sense. It would be.
The opposite is true too, by the way. Like if we get you, let's say you partner with us and we get you to a position where you've shaved off the weight and you're back at that aesthetic form that you were at university days, but in a really good position, dude, coming out of college. What would that do for you mentally on the other side? Because it wouldn't be frustration to be something else. What would that do for you over the next few years? Mentally, how would that look like?
Well, it wouldn't be frustrated anymore. It would be, I guess,
something
a sense
else.
Of it would be full achievement, I would say. Like it's like, hey, it's another area in my life that I conquered and just made it a 10 out of 10. Like amazing. Okay.
And you'd be almost 30 at the time too, because you're 27 now. When do you turn 28?
I turned 28 a few months ago. I would say three months ago. Yeah, three months ago.
When do you turn 20? You said you're 27. So when do you turn?
So I'm 27. I'm turning 28 in a few months from now, actually. Yeah.
When?
I would say it's December 3rd.
I'm just doing some math, bro. So like 2.5 years from now. Husham got the math a little confused there.
December 3rd.
I'm just doing some math, bro. So like 2.5 years from now, if you're 30, pushing 30, and you got the 6-pack and you've literally reversed in age time, bro. What would that feel like as a man, bro, as a professional?
Still young, I would say. It's not gonna feel like a 30, like the big 30. It would be feel like I'm still in my mid.
I went into my 30s with a 6-pack. It's cool. My lady's on her toes. She gotta stay on her toes, man.
That's great.
It's a great feeling, man. One more thing with this. Do you notice also, guys? One more thing I'll give you, and then I'll let most of this play out. Look at how my energy shifts. The whole time I was very serious and concerned, and now my tone is smiling. And look at that bright smile right there. The reason I'm smiling at that is because we're in desire. We're talking about something good, something positive. So I'm gonna mirror and build out that energy by owning it myself. My lady's on her toes. She gotta stay on her toes, man.
That's great.
It's a great feeling, man. One more thing with this, as a professional, what do you think it'd feel like? Just like as a dude who's making a lot of money, to be able to check multiple boxes, what do you think the feeling would be there?
It would be a sense of accomplishment and just happiness, because now I can be like, okay, this guy actually looks the part of making the type of cash. You know what I'm saying? So it would the status, the authority would just, we can tell like this guy looks good and makes very, very good money. So you can have that old money type of style. That's something I've been really obsessed with the last couple of years. So
I love it, bro. I love it. Let's do you feel good about making a commitment to being that person now? And whether or not you want to use our services, bro, we're going to go into that now. I'm going to break it all down. But before we go pricing and how many calls and who your coach is going to be, I just want to know on your end, do you feel set on the commitment of, here I am ready to be that guy who enters into his next 2-3 years, going into 30s, with everything in check, including the aesthetic, including the confidence, including the body? Do you feel good about that? Do you feel yes to that?
Yeah, man, of course. Yeah. Like every other aspect of my life, I've always given 100%. I want to give this 100% as well. Yeah, for sure.
And dude, we'll help you. I like to pull up slides because I think the visual just helps with this.
Cool.
There we go. That's break down to our structures. Tell me how you feel, and we'll look at details and get you in if it feels good to you.
Let's do it, man. Cool, beautiful, amazing.
Amazing call. Very, very cleanly ran. This is how you do it. This is how you do sales, and this is how you will make yourself a lot of money. You made it to the end. That was a mega training. My voice is absolutely cooked. I need to go drink some tea right now, but I hope that had a lot of value for you. I hope that you understood and learned from it. As I always say, this is the biggest thing. Watching my content here and watching the videos is not enough. You need to implement and apply the training. apply the training in a environment that allows you to succeed, that allows you to make a bunch of money. If you're selling your own products, apply this to your live calls. Like, watch your calls back and compare them to what you saw here. If you are a sales rep or you want to be a sales rep, get some role plays in, get in live calls with prospects, get an offer, and go ahead and watch your calls and analyze them and compare them to top sales reps. Okay. I'm happy that you made it to the end. If you are here at the end, if you would like me to help you make a bunch of money in sales the way I do for my top clients, the way to get in touch with me is down below. We have all the links, everything that you need to reach out and connect with me to see if I can help you in sales, help you make a bunch of money in sales. It's all below. Okay. Take care. Have an absolutely blessed day. And I will see you on the next one. Go make yourself and your family and the people around you, go make them all some money.